Hello and welcome to our Changeling the Dreaming 20th Anniversary Edition Chronicle Toronto by Day, Tales from the Rookery. As a warning, this is a mature game, masquerading as a mature game, and it may explore some dark and troubling themes. These may include, but are not limited to, body horror, gore, violence, loss of character agency, gaslighting, mind control, and many others. Our players have already discussed consent and boundaries, and we collectively avoid situations that may be triggering. The players will always let me know if anything gets uncomfortable using yellow and red cards in our private chat. If you as a viewer ever feel uncomfortable or triggered, please pause, step away. Our streams are available on YouTube after the game, so you can always come back to an episode if you feel more prepared, or just skip it and go on to the next episode. And now, once again, for a wonderful Wednesday evening, let's meet our players. Good evening, Motley. How's everyone doing tonight?
Hi.
Time to introduce yourselves and tell the viewers a little bit about your character. And we've already gone once around. I believe we're starting with Anita tonight.
Me. Hi, I'm Anita, and tonight I am playing Penn Devlin, our resident Eshu storyteller. Penn's pronouns are they, she, while mine are she, they.
Well, thank you very much, Penn. And next up in the list, we have Rose.
Hi everyone, I'm Rose and I am playing Lee. She's a Selkie who is now free at last, free from sick kids. I can do what I want. And I'm excited for getting into this game. Anita, you have no idea what we gotten into last week.
And I did not catch the VOD for this, so I have no clue.
Oh no!
I'm going to blind.
Yeah.
Oh no!
No frame of reference for what you got up to next week, and neither does Penn, so it's better that way.
All I have to say is, I'm sorry.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Rose. And after Rose, we have the lovely Crystal.
Okay, it's Crystal playing Lily Winters, your friendly neighborhood Cord, and oh my gosh, we really could have used Penn last game.
I mean,
Sure.
At least for one episode. One episode.
Everything goes to hell.
It was important.
It was fun.
A certain fairly quiet Cord actually had to do a lot of talking. It was entertaining to watch.
it was
I
painful
tried
to watch. I mean,
for you. Why would I make it easy for you?
Thank you, Crystal. Next up, we have the ever-talented Joanna.
Maybe not so ever talented, but yes, my name is Joanna, and I am playing Lara Applewood, your friendly neighborhood Pisky. Both of our pronouns are she, her, and Lara has apparently started dimension jumping, so this is really cool and awesome, and yeah, we'll fill you in later, Penn.
Thank you very much, Joanna.
So
Next up, we have the ever well-known Kitty.
Hey everybody, I'm Kitty Kimchi and I'm playing your zookeeping puka Alette. And Penn may have to deal with the aftermath of her sassiness and volunteering her for services and the wrath of a very perturbed pigeon.
Yeah, don't ask about the pigeon. It is.
Oh
it is
no,
better
we'll
not
tell
to
you.
know.
We'll tell you about it.
You'll find out today, folks.
Rex.
And finally, last but not least, the stately and noble Mike.
Wow,
playing
you got
the
me
stately.
mistaken
Wow.
with somebody else. Cliff's been, yeah. No. Hi everybody. I'm normally all over this channel in some way or form, but Cliff asked me to come and teach the Motley a lesson, so here I am. I will be playing Donovan Osgood, their employer.
And I am Cliff, the storyteller, who is just as amused at what the Motley gets up to as you, the viewer, are, sometimes more so, I'm sure. I am he and him when it matters, and just as importantly, all sorts of other NPCs. So one never knows. We're going to who did we? Oh yeah, so it'll be Kitty's turn to give us a quick recap as to
I
last
can
week.
give you a recap. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, that's fair.
Hey, that was Lee's thing for
That
a
tracks.
good long time. How dare.
Well, pretty much. We all found a way on set. Um, in
Got in
some
trouble.
words, we kind of, maybe, sort of called Donovan useless without directly calling him that. I threatened him with a pigeon. And we are now on his payroll. In order to do what we were supposed to do, we have another side quest. We have to find a door. Don't know what kind of a door, but we have to find a door and a particular person. And we kind of maybe sort of volunteered you while you wasn't there to change the script, and he may kind of sort of maybe change it if it's interesting enough.
Okay, just to make things a little easier around the edges, especially for Kitty and the recap, you do have to bring Penn up to speed on things, so we can do this actually in game. So, like we usually do, time flows a little differently in the game world. It's going to be about another week. Lara has been working for Unit 11 for the most part. As much as you've all met Donovan, during the intervening week, there's not a lot of opportunity due to the chaos and busyness of the studio life to actually interact with Donovan very much. So Lara is spending a lot of time with Unit 11, learning about set decoration. And set decoration tends to be a lot of put this here, does it look good? No, move it around. So there is a lot of fetching coffee, filing photographs, moving sketches about, trying to keep track of who's in the office and who's not in the office, and mostly just kind of floating through the days. Alette, you're getting to know Dan and Keith and Gus and really, really well as you spend a lot of time with the animals. The carpenters are able to kind of build an aviary after a sort and kind of a kennel sort of area that can be used for some of the animals. So when they're down there, they're not in their cages all the time. There is a lot of confusion. ADs, assistant director types are constantly saying, no, put those animals in there. And then as you're getting them ready, somebody else comes by and goes, no, those animals are out. We want these animals in. So there is the usual chaos and confusion that you run into on a set. Lily and Lee, you two do indeed get to spend some time in and around the Studio 4 in the main area, primarily in props and wardrobe, lifting, carrying, helping move things around, helping people get dressed. You will have seen, though not met, some of the primary actors and actresses, and a more, what would you say, entitled, boring, and snooty bunch you have never run into before. These all seem to be late teenagers playing early teenagers, and they're fairly demanding. And when they come into wardrobe, it tended to leave it for the top dogs at wardrobe to handle them, because no one else, of course, can do it right. They don't go into props, so it's amazing how many wardrobe people are also working in props just to get away from the little the primary actors and actresses. Penn, you've been having to deal with things at the Beguiling because both of your dads were gone for a little bit. Now that you had one night of running things, they kind of said, "Here, have it for a week." We have family business to do, so the week has been rough, but it has been a learning experience. Alette, could you roll me a D10, please, and try to get 6 and above?
7.
Beautiful. Jonathan's doing great. And any glamour you've had to feed him, you've been able to regain through other ways. Penn, I would like you to roll me a D10, please, and keep your fingers crossed for 6 or above.
That was a 9.
Beautiful. Excellent. The advantage to having a freehold at home is the banality of doing adult work does not become soul crushing.
The entire store has been rearranged.
Your dads will comment on this when they return.
I'm sure.
So, and one other thing. So Lee, you have a brand new apartment in, where did we move you to?
think it
I
was
remember
Bleecker
oh yeah,
Street.
the Bleecker Street Co-op on the
Yeah.
first floor.
Yep.
So it's a bachelor apartment, which for our American viewers, they don't call them bachelor apartments. Crystal, what were they called down there? You lived in one.
Efficiencies.
An efficiency. That's it. One big room. So you're about 3 doors down the hall from the main doors. You go in and it's your kitchenette unit is kind of on your left against the wall, and it's got an apartment size stove and fridge. So they're not huge, but they're, you've got your seating area. You've got there is a bed there. It's a twin. It's all of the furniture has been pre-loved, as they say. There is enough there for you to take care of yourself, and you'll find that the bank account they set you up with the first payments from Ontario Works, has enough money for groceries and possibly a little treat or two, something else to add on. There is an old tube TV in the place. One of those things with rabbit ears, though it is hooked up to cable. The cable is not turned on, but it still pulls in about 4 or 5 stations. And right beside the door in is an old, on the wall, an old handset telephone.
For buzzing people in.
Yes, exactly. And
I'm
you're
familiar
told
with
that,
those.
yeah, you're told that you'll hear a double ring, means someone's at the door. And if you actually activate the phone service, though nobody does that anymore, a long ring means somebody's calling.
It's good to know the difference.
Okay. And you hit Thursday. That means a certain room on the 7th floor of the Sick Kids Hospital is open. Now, does anyone want to do any other housekeeping or anything else during the week intervening while you're learning the ins and outs of the studios or doing your respective bits and pieces? Or do you want to go straight to a meeting at the Freehold, which will be the first time Penn's had an opportunity in the last week or so, 10 days, to catch up with people?
What did I do with my library job? Or am I now doing both?
Yeah, you're not getting a whole lot of sleep lately because fortunately, the nice thing about studios is they tend to work all sorts of hours. So
Okay.
you're doing mornings at the library, and then as soon as you can wiggle out from under William's purview and his gaze, you're off to the studio where you fetch coffee and help out in wardrobe, and you'll notice that while there are a core of people who seem to always be there and know who's who and what's what, there are also a large group of people that a couple of the regulars, you hear them talking about the cloud people, and these are the people that kind of float through like clouds. They're around, they're there for some hours, nobody's quite sure how many, and then they're gone, and then they're back later for some more hours, and then they're gone. And they're sure they're working on the production. They're just not 100% sure what they're doing.
I see.
You have become one of these cloud people floating through when it's convenient.
I see. Different kind of mystery, but yes. Okay. Well, that was the only question I had, other than when can we all meet? Because need to talk to Penn.
Penn's gonna wander into the Freehold looking a little bit just tired, and is going to just flump down into one of the couches nearby, be like, I didn't think I'd be so happy to see my Voil. And these chairs are so comfy. My feet, they're sore. How was your week?
I'm gonna say that Lily is curled up similarly, but in just like a single, like stuffed chair, and more fetal than sitting, just like it's like, well, you look like how I feel, which I look probably how you feel. So yeah, like that.
What happened? Oh no. What happened?
What happened? Well, because the Baroness told us to go to the studio and get the jobs at the studio, and we all did, but she really didn't give us enough information before we got in there, and then we met a she. And
Did you make a deal?
he was doing the thing where you
No,
you
no
have
deal,
to,
Jill.
well, kind of verbal.
Yeah, we said we'd talk to you.
We
first.
implied we agreed.
No.
You
yeah,
im-
but we said we needed to talk to Penn first. We said we needed to talk to Penn, but we did sign employment contracts because it
An
they were
employment
paying me
contract is
minimum
just as good
wage,
as
and he's
as a verbal agreement.
paying like over
Oh.
$20 an hour. So I was like, yeah, why not? But yeah,
He doesn't
Yeah.
seem that bad. He also doesn't necessarily like the film as it is.
Yeah, but he doesn't like
that's
he
the
That's my
doesn't
thing,
like
impression
the
anyway.
he doesn't like the
No.
Baroness. Why is that? What's that about? He said that he had some kind of like feud kind of thing, and that she keeps sending people after him, and that's not good.
Maybe she's just pointlessly just overbearing because maybe
Did
she
you-
is. I don't know.
But we met her. We've met her twice now.
Yeah, but we're also not Osgood.
Yeah, but I mean,
Osgood?
if you're gonna be overbearing, like
I'm guessing Osgood's the person that we signed the
yeah,
contract.
Donovan Osgood.
Huh,
He says
maybe.
his name is.
Maybe he's part of the court and everything like that, and he's on just a very short leash or something. Yeah, it's just speculating. I have no idea.
part of the court. All's good. Court. And Lara just laughs.
Okay.
Alette's in the shape of a cat, and she just jumps.
So
in
what
Pen's
did
lap.
you agree to on my behalf?
We agreed to talk to you to get your opinion on should we find a door for him with the theory that he might maybe kind of help us with our project of changing the movie.
It's a door that's not a door, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
Yes.
it's a trod, and he says it keeps moving around and he can't find it, and he's been looking for it, and he knows it's somewhere in the studios, but he just hasn't located it. And I don't understand, if he's so much older than us, how come he can't find it? Like, and I'm very cross because I feel like this is now the second time that we've all gotten very much sort of stuffed into do this or else, and I don't like that.
Okay. So if I'm hearing this right,
Hmm.
there is someone that works for the studio that is from the court that does not like the Baroness.
Mhm.
And the Baroness obviously did not give us all the information. Technically speaking, it wasn't necessarily the Baroness's fault. It was that other fella that signed us up for the job to begin with.
Yeah,
The one that said we couldn't do it, so we all decided to be contrarian and say yes, we could.
I only did it because you guys said.
I didn't
Anyhow.
like him.
Well, anyhow, we made an
Okay.
oath, and now it's literally do it or die. So
You oathed?
oh,
Technically
you were
speaking-
there.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, the oath that we did to the
Yeah,
Baroness.
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah, that one.
Has anybody contacted the Baroness to let to
No,
do this quick?
No,
little...
we wanted to talk to you first, but I thought of that. I thought that maybe we should, but you have the information.
the inform the,
How to contact her.
Yeah, I can contact the Baroness. That's right. I should spread that around.
Yes.
Well, it's more like I do the thing and then the Baroness calls me.
Yeah, but
Kinda deal.
it's like, leaving a I don't know.
I can leave a message or I can email. It's the email. Yeah, email.
Yes.
All these older they use just such archaic methods. Get with the times. Okay. Penn is gonna hop out from the freehold real quick and be like, send a message to the Baroness that says, ran into a friend of yours at the studio.
Okay. Email's been sent.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna pop
It does
back
that
in.
little.
It does the. Let me know it's been sent. Okay. And I hop back in the freehold. Okay. Well, we'll find out if the Baroness has any more information since they were sparse on that. Okay.
She said
So-
she would give us resources, but then I
We
feel like
never-
we sort of jumped in before we could think of
You
what
jumped
to
in
ask.
before any resources were given.
Yeah, that one.
And I had to work for the week. Crumbs. Darn it. Okay. This is not completely unsalvageable. It's not beyond repair. I'm
Mm.
not upset. We'll figure this out.
Hmm.
And we will find a door, possibly. Oh, so what was the thing with me specifically?
Well, because we were trying to, like I said, you did the thing where you basically have to behave and answer all the questions. So
How would you like to get into script writing?
I mean, I did have the idea to help like push the script in the right direction so that it wouldn't spread banality and instead spread glamour.
yeah,
So
well,
that was my
well,
idea to
'cause-
begin with. The
'cause-
Baroness really
'cause-
didn't like that idea. Or I guess
'cause-
the other fella didn't really like that idea.
Well, we kind of signed you up to do that.
Yeah,
Well,
Alette
Not
said that
technically signed up. I mean, she,
that
voluntold.
being said,
but no.
if it was good enough, Osgood would be more than happy to go that direction.
Yeah.
So
So that
knowledge
would-
is this your
So-
probably first script writing gig? Am I correct in asking?
I mean, I've storyboarded before and I've written a couple things before, but
Okay, so you just gotta wow him in this first one. No pressure, right?
do we have a copy
For
of the
sure.
script?
Wow, is
The-
she?
The original script? So that I have a base to work off of for improvements?
What?
Well, because we tried to ask him about, okay, so can we just sort of pull some strings to get you Penn the job? And he said, no, that's the other studio. So we'll have to figure out how to get you in there. It's more like if we get you in there and if you can figure out how to rewrite the script so it isn't horrible, then maybe.
This also
Yeah.
kind of goes against things that I stand for. I'm just gonna let y'all know that.
I didn't.
Okay, what is
small-
it? What does it go
Small
against?
small indie productions are fine. Like theater art kind of deal, like house films.
Mhm.
Like I'm cool with that because it's a little bit hipster, a little bit indie, but big budget movie studio productions kind of feed into a lot of how capitalism has monetized art and feeds more into that machine and commercializes art. That is kind of against everything that I stand for as a issue.
Well, I mean, I
Well,
can
this just got
totally
harder.
understand that, but we agreed to work at the studio. Like, I wasn't sure whether to agree to work at the studio when we talked to the Baroness, but I mean, we agreed to
Well,
do
that's
it,
the reason
so-
why I was okay with sabotaging the entire production from the ground up, is because
So you want to well, I mean, this is a sabotage, technically.
I mean, if we could also twist it so that it's something that produces glamour instead of taking away glamour.
Yeah, well, that was I think that's what Alette was thinking, and why I was agreeing with the idea of, if you could write it so that it would, rather than being full of banality, be glamourful, sort of somehow. I don't know.
Well,
It was
I
it
can
was
always-
very
I
very
can
hard in
always
front of
inspire
him.
creativity in others. That is a thing that I can do.
That's a good thing.
I tried to hit him with a pigeon.
Oh, is
She
Pigeon
did.
okay?
He's fine now. I gave him a cracker.
Was it like a cracker at least?
It was a club cracker.
Oh,
All right.
okay. So,
Okay.
when do we need to meet up with Osgood again? Also,
Oh.
when do we need to be back at the studio? Because I'm still.
Storyteller? Question.
Yes, that's me. Yes.
Yes, that's you. Because last game we told Donovan we'd see him next day at 2 p.m.
And it's
Yeah,
been a week.
you've been seeing Donovan on and off, a little here, a little there.
Yeah,
you
but
tend to
with
show-
answer from Penn and all that.
you've been able to kind of say that, you know what, you
Oh,
still
okay.
had yet to meet. He's not pleased,
Okay.
you know.
So we
but
were able to
he's-
fudge that along.
he's
and just-
he's also used to, that's the way sometimes the movie business works with, you every time he says so and you say, well, we haven't talked, it's like, fine, geez, get on that, please, thank you. And then he's right back into the ebb and swirl of everything going on.
Okay.
And he has pretty much given you, by the third day of saying that, he's like, you know what, soon, or there are contractual obligations that will have to be met.
Mm.
Yeah, and I don't really like the idea of the word contractual obligations because that means something that's very different for us.
Yeah, that was the other thing is because we were getting hired separately to work at what is it called? Pinewood. But then after basically getting us all in a room, he made us sign on a tablet, basically employment contracts.
Ah, I see.
It was more than minimum wage. And they were only wanting to pay me minimum wage before. So, I mean, I got student loans to pay.
And it kind of didn't help that he's kind of easy on the eyes.
And
Not only that,
actually,
he's
Lara,
majestic, like real majestic.
Lara, you're drawing two paychecks because you're still being paid by Unit 11 as well.
Nice. Am I still being paid by the hospital? The gift shop?
Yes. Again, it's very part-time.
Okay, so we need to meet up with Osgood. I need to either agree or not agree to this whole shenaniganery.
It's basically we've been able to stave him off by saying that we needed to agree as a group and that we weren't going to do it without you.
Getting
And you
kinda
also
cranky.
signed paper contracts, though.
What?
I didn't sign my real name.
Just for work. Just like actual, like.
But it just
people
read
work.
like a regular. It read like a regular hiring contract. It didn't
Just
read.
people work.
Did any of you try and check it for extra magical tidbitties?
Oh, nuts.
That was a lot to read.
Why
Absolutely a
would he
lot
put
to
that
read.
on its
That was a
tablet?
lot
Why
to
don't you
read.
see it?
That was a lot to read. You didn't
It
read the
was.
fine print?
It was a lot to
Yeah,
read.
I'm
I don't think
not
any
mad.
of
I'm
us
not
read
mad.
that.
I'm not
Document
mad.
where we can only see the signature part. He didn't zoom out.
No, well, he did, but I thought we looked at it and it just looked like a regular, hiring to do this job, this much per hour, like it looked like a basic employment form. You're right, we should have checked it
I'm not
further.
mad. I'm not mad. I'm a little mad, but I'm not mad.
Okay, I was gonna
Hey,
say, you
I'm
seem a
mad.
little mad.
So I mean, yeah, I'm a little. No, not mad. What something? It was a bad day. You weren't there.
I know. We all have bad days sometimes. Okay. I'm gonna be okay. This is gonna be okay. Get yourself together, Pen. Get yourself together. Okay.
Alette in her little cat form just kind of takes her head and kind of just nudges it against her arm, try to comfort her. Pet me.
I'll just like give little ear scritches. Okay, that's calming. That helps. Okay.
Lara puts out her hands to Alette and's like underneath the tummy. You want tummy rubs? Yes, no?
Get little chin scritches underneath Alette's like right at the jowls. Okay.
He's just like, you're liking this a lot, aren't you?
I need to go with you to the studio, meet with Osgood, try and figure out what exactly is going on in terms of these contracts, read over the paperwork that you signed, and then we can figure out a way to solve this problem.
Well, should we? So you went out. Did you send an email?
I sent an email. Yes, I need to see if we've got a response yet from Baroness. Okay.
Yeah, that.
Okay. As you get up, before you're able to actually, stir out of the room, door opens and Gertie floats in. And she goes, "Hello, Motley. How is everyone doing this evening?"
Lily is still curled up in a ball.
Well,
Oh, it looks like there are a whole lot of mopey faces in here. We can't have mopey faces in here. And she starts pumping the water to fill the big iron tea kettle, takes it over to the bale fire. She says, "I know exactly what you need. You just need a little spot of tea. Tea makes everything wonderful. I always tell my daughters-in-law, anytime they come over, that a spot of tea just settles the world right again. After you have a tea, you could go out and you can kick the devil in the ghoulies and feel good about it."
do you have any lilac tea?
Yes. Funny enough, look at this, just right here.
Okay.
And I think
Can I
5
get Earl
lilac
Grey?
teas. Oh, we can do that. Yes.
Something with caffeine. So Earl Grey, yeah.
Are you sure, sweet, that you are supposed to have caffeine? I look at you and I notice that you're so close to vibrating pretty much all the time.
But it keeps me alive.
No, it
Well,
keeps
that
you
is one way
awake.
of looking at it. That is one way of approaching it. Okay. We'll just do a little caffeine. And she just bustles about. The kettle whistles fairly quickly. And as she's pouring, she's quick 6 cups, because she includes one for herself, of course. She hands them around and she stops and says, "So you know what's coming up in about 10 days.
No.
Oh no, now what?
Today's the 21st of October, so plus 10.
Halloween.
Oh,
All Hallows
okay.
Eve.
Samhain.
Yes, and yes. And it's actually pronounced 7 where I'm from, but that's in the Highlands. So there are a lot of different ways of pronouncing it. It is a big deal for a lot of changelings. Our people, a lot of them have their little rituals. This year, for the first time in, I think, forever, Betty, Misty, and I will not be in attendance at the hospital. We are going back to visit some of Betty's family. One of her relatives might not be in a good way and might not be with us much longer.
Oh.
So we are taking a little vacation. So this leaves
is the family? Where is the family? Where?
over in the old country.
Scotland?
Oh, no, Betty's not from there. She's a little more Middle European and just a titch to the north.
Okay.
So we are leaving. It is the one night of the year. Well, actually, it's not the one night of the year. There are a couple of others like Yule and Beltane as well, where the freehold will be accessible, not on a Thursday.
It'll be a Friday
Now,
instead.
There are, it's a Sunday this year.
Or yeah, it's a Sunday.
Yes. So there will be all sorts of fun and games amongst all the little dumplings throughout the hospital. Usually not long after sunset, strange things can happen. So it would be very much appreciated if the five of you would step into the shoes of the three of us. Now, you don't have to do anything in the kitchen. You don't have to tell the nurses what to do. You don't have to, well, Lara, you could run the gift shop if you want. You do that just every bit as fine as Misty does. But just to make sure that everything is as it should be, just in case it's not.
What do you think might not be okay?
Well, you never know. And that's the fun part of 7. There are a lot of interesting little rituals. For example, 7 is the one time of year when we're celebrating the change from Seelie to unseelie. So many nobles put aside their titles and go out amongst the commoners. If a commoner finds or catches a noble in disguise, and they can be very tricksy, then the commoner is allowed to ask a boon. Depending on the commoners and the nobles, sometimes that's just a little favor, and sometimes that's something much more, shall we say, detrimental to the noble. It's also the night when a lot of scales are balanced. A lot of prophecies are looked into. A lot of predictions are made. The Slua communicate with those past the veil that night because the veil is very, very thin. And there can be all sorts of types running about. The veil is not only thin between our land and the land of those who passed on, but it can also be very thin between here and the dreaming. And you can have leakage. So we'd rather there not be any headless horsemen racing up and down the corridor, scaring the pants off the little ones.
Okay.
So I will hope that it is a quiet night full of candy.
Me too.
But
Real hard.
just in case, it is nice to know that we are leaving the freehold and the surrounds in such capable hands.
Pen,
Yes.
should we ask her?
Well, unintentionally, I think that I have already been granted advice from her, but we can ask.
Yes, my dears, what do you need to ask?
I think we might have been unwittingly put into conflicting contracts.
That can be problematic, yes.
Yeah, I think it might be one of those cases, though, where a compromise equals nobody's happy.
Well, somebody will always be happy. It just might not be those who are involved in the compromise.
That is fair.
I know that when I and any of my daughters-in-law have to compromise, I'm always happy. And so are they. Because they know that I'm happy, and that's the important thing.
Hmm.
And she finishes her tea and says, and I must be off. I have only a couple of days to make sure that my kitchen is in a good situation so that I can leave it and expect to come back to a proper kitchen and not a completely destroyed whirlwind of chaos, like what happened last time I went on vacation 4 years ago.
I can relate.
I already miss your cooking, Gertie.
Oh, I'll make sure to leave enough dinners in the freezer that, oh, wait, you're not living here anymore, are you? I'll have to fix you up a little takeout order or something. And I'll make sure to include 1 or 2 of my favorite recipes so you can perhaps start learning at home yourself.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Wonderful. You have the best night you can, my lovelies, and I will see you when we get back, hopefully with lots of pictures and postcards and funny and humorous anecdotes about the trip.
Have a good trip. Come back safe.
And she finishes the tea, puts it in the little sink area, and just kind of glides back out.
So,
Okay.
Penny, for your thoughts?
Yes, I have an idea. If a boon can be granted during Samhain, we can get out of one of 2 contracts.
Yeah, but you have to spot them and, well, maybe both at the same time.
Why do we want to get out of the first one? The first one seems perfectly fine. Make it not banal.
And
Make it.
what? Yeah, no, like it's not like I don't have a problem with the like request or the task. It's fine. I just that oath at the end.
Yeah.
See, that's
The only thing, unfortunately.
Yes.
Mm.
So, what I would propose,
Yes.
is that if we were to get out of one of these contracts, we would have to find 1 or 2 of our benefactors, which would mean it would be to our advantage to split into 2 teams if that was what we wanted to do.
I mean,
I have reservations.
As do I, but
Mhm.
don't all
unfortunately,
horror stories start with you split the team.
yeah, you generally don't want to split the party in D&D.
Yeah.
But
no,
unfortunately, it's the best way to cover more ground if we want to get, unless we want to just choose a target and then find them.
I like that option better. Last time we was missing a party, we kind of got ourselves into deep shit.
Yeah, you kind of did. Oh wait, sorry, I'm not mad.
Yeah, as in we got ourselves into another
And
agreement
I mean, it
that
would be a
conflicts
pretty
with the
good
first
birthday gift
agreement.
to me if we could do that
It's your birthday.
It's your birthday?
on Halloween.
Oh,
Oh,
we are gonna
Okay.
have a party. Have a big
We're
party.
gonna deal with this and then
Oh,
we're
and
gonna
then
party.
We're gonna have a party. Yes.
Yeah.
yeah. Can we survive first? Maybe.
I think I've already started heavily drinking already, maybe.
Uh-oh.
Okay. So
Okay.
first things first, we need to find Osgood and see what's going on. Get the exact skinny on what exactly we're doing.
Oh, I also have one quick question for you, Pen.
Yeah, for sure.
So, when we were talking to Osgood, I pulled some stuff out of my pockets, and I found a call sheet for a movie. Which, I really didn't mean to. I must have pickpocketed it somehow. But the call sheet wasn't from Toronto. The call sheet was from Vancouver. Star Trek Discovery. Have you ever heard of Piskies being able to, pickpocket stuff that they don't, in cities that they're not in?
I mean, maybe someone on the set had the call sheet.
Maybe, but it just seems really weird. And Mr. Osgood seemed really, really perturbed by the whole thing.
Oh, the door. Maybe it's
Oh.
not to the
there
Trod. Maybe it's
pocket?
to another location
City.
on the planet, like another city, like Toronto to
Like-
Vancouver.
Oh, okay, so there's a door somewhere that we
Maybe-
can pass through to Oh,
Possibly. I mean,
If-
maybe
no.
you got close enough to it that you were able to pull something through.
oh,
When did you pull it, Lara?
it was. I was in the. Well, I don't know.
Well,
know
you were
what?
you were in the room with us.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that that's when I pulled it. Like I didn't check my pockets after I left the Studio 11 or whatever. Yeah, I didn't leave it after I got I didn't check my pockets after I got coffee. So it's anywhere between there and the actual Pinewood studio place. So I can tell you where I drove on my Segway from the one.
You have a
studio to the
Segway?
other. Yeah, I got a Segway because it's a long distance. Those are huge studios, huge.
Lucky.
Yeah, I didn't say they didn't give me a Segway. They just let me borrow it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we have to find Osgood, figure out what's in these contracts, try and solve the problem, and then come Halloween, we need to see if we can get out of one of these two contracts after we've decided which one we want to go with.
Agreed.
Meet Osgood first.
Osgood first. Okay.
That will be easier. Easy. I think.
I was hoping you were not going to say easier said than done.
I think it's easier done than said, but I don't think that makes sense.
No, it does in this context.
Um,
All right. Shall we?
yes.
Okay.
So I
Well,
mean,
since it's still early, we should get some za. I'm just saying, late night za,
Midnight pizza? Yeah.
late night
one of
za.
the best ideas.
Or like a late
Pizziola.
night donair.
That was just
Cheeky
one.
donair.
One of my. Ooh, don't air.
Ooh, Bobby's
Cheeky
too.
baklava.
There's
Also-
Bobby's.
I don't know why, but I've got this craving for pierogies.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, Future Bakery. In this Changeling World storyteller, can we have Future Bakery still existing, please? Thank you. Future Bakery near my place. It has the best pierogies and stuff like that on like this. Well, I mean, at least the stuff that you can get late at night.
Do
It's
they
not
have Hunter
frozen.
stew?
Probably yes.
Yes. Okay. Let's go.
Okay.
It wasn't
Okay.
like one of
So,
my best
you know,
ideas. That was
for-
just
yeah.
one idea.
You know for a fact you can't go to the studios now because it's 8, 9 o'clock at night. There's to be activities going on, but a lot of them will be wound down. So you're going to have to go hunt up this Donovan Osgood tomorrow. However, you can go off to the Future Bakery and get yourself some pierogies, some za, whatever people are in the mind to snack on, because snacks are incredibly important. So
That's
you go into Future Bakery, and as you come out of Future Bakery, hang on a second, I just have to find the right page in here again. I know I wrote it down.
Hey, Lara, who knew pierogies were actually really, really good?
Okay, Alette, if you could give me an animal can plus hang on, I gotta see what we're combining it with. Plus perception, please. Difficulty of 7s or above.
Three successes.
3 successes is quite sufficient. So as the 5 of you come out, well, it's about 9 o'clock. Sun is pretty much set. Street lights are on. There's a few people around here and there. From kind of around the corner of the building where there's a parking lot area, 4 of you hear chittering. Alette, however, hears, psst, psst, hey, Hey, over here, drop it over here. Come on, toss something over here. You can do it.
I look and see. Try to find who's
There's a kind of a furry face just sticking around the corner. You can just see the nose and the whiskers and the eyes behind the mask.
toss them some baklava.
And it's like, oh, damn, it worked. I have to tell them. Holy crap, I'm a human whisperer. Ah! And if this thing grabs it and disappears.
Is that a raccoon? Did you just make a friend?
But that was a raccoon.
I did.
Yes.
We can do that now. We can get them on our side.
Raccoon army. Raccoon army.
We have them on set.
Why are we whispering?
I don't know.
And a moment later, Alette, you can hear the actual, there's a light chittering from around the corner again. Alette, you can hear, watch this, guys, watch. No, I tell you, I'm a human whisperer, watch. And the nose sticks out a little bit. And it's like, toss me another one, toss me one. Come on, baby, come on, toss me something over here, human. Come on, you need to feed the ones that run the city. Come on, do it, do it, do it.
Toss another one.
And there's, holy crapola. And the paw reaches out, grabs it, kind of pulls it back around the corner. It's like, see, guys. And there's at least 2 or 3 voices going, no way. What did you, what are you doing? All you're doing is like squeaking at them in there. Wow, it's amazing. We'll be rolling in pastries for life, boys.
I'll throw them a little bit of kielbasa sausage.
Wait, meat. Okay, oh, hang on. Who summoned meat? I didn't ask for meat. No, that's good. No, meat's good. Okay.
I talked to him. I was like, let us pet you.
And suddenly everything goes quiet.
Lara tosses some rye bread because Future Bakery is known for its really good bread. So she takes off a chunk of rye bread and tosses it.
And very close to the ground, this little black nose kind of sticks out, sniffs a little bit. And then from above, a paw reaches down and cups the nose and pulls it back in. And it's like, one of them talked at us. What the blue blazes is going on? I don't know. Maybe they've learned to talk with it. No, they're humans. They're completely, no. And the vermin start talking back to the people running the city. That's not a happy thing. That's not good at all.
We're not exactly humans. We won't hurt you. We just want pets.
Lee's gonna pop a squat and a little piece of fried bread in her hand.
And
or
that
she puts it
nose-
out in front of her. Like well
that
out in front
nose-
of her.
You guys are about 6-8 feet from the corner, far close enough to just toss food, not so close as to be like right there and seeing what's in the shadows. But again, that nose comes out sniffing and the paw comes out and grabs the nose and back. And it's like, okay, what did I tell you, Fines? We're not doing this right now. We got to figure out why they're talking with us. Hang on a second. Okay, I'll do it. Hello, human. Are you a good human or are you a bad human? And then there's another voice going, oh yeah, like they'll tell you that. Like a human will admit to being a bad human. What kind of stuff have you been eating? Bad rubber and old shoes? I mean, Christ. And then one of them goes, hey, don't diss old shoes. There's a good chewing in old shoes. It's like, yeah, okay. Well, if they're leather, if they're plastic, that's completely different.
But I already told you, we're not humans at all.
Okay, and a nose kind of comes around the corner because they can't just peek around the corner. You have to get the nose around the corner before the eyes get there. And you're getting kind of this one eye from a kind of a scrawny looking raccoon. And he goes, okay, so if you're not a human, you look like a human, you smell like a human, kind of. So what And the head sticks out a little more and he kind of looks up the street the other way and down the street the other way and then goes, are we supposed to talk out here?
Lara tosses a cabbage roll.
Is there a place you
And
would
then
like
this
to go
this
to
this
talk?
small but kind of globular looking raccoon. He's about, half the size of most raccoons you've seen, but he's a sphere with little arms and a little head. Literally leaps over the one that's stuck his nose around the corner and pounces on the cabbage roll and goes, mine! Grabs it, kind of rolls to a stop and goes, eek! And then cabbage roll in tucked against his belly just bolts right off into the shadows of the parking lot again.
Remember when I was having a terrible day and I was kind of mad at you, even though I said I wasn't mad at you all? This makes up for it. Round raccoons are my favorite thing in this entire world.
You knew it was a good idea to go out for food.
Like a fuzzy orange.
Oh, come back. I got rye. It was really good.
It's just like a little orb of happiness.
A little orb rascal of happiness.
Let us rub you and spoil you with treats.
Oh, yeah, like he's going to go for that.
Okay, step into my office. And he kind of withdraws back around the corner.
Alette just kind of on all fours, just kind of like if you can imagine a tiptoe crawl, she's doing that toward the raccoon. This way.
Okay, but I don't think I'm gonna crawl.
He's gonna.
You have to get on their level.
Lee's
And
definitely
there,
gonna.
there are a couple of what
I'm
look like
already small.
university students across the street kind of walking in one direction who are kind of looking and doing a, what the fuck? Yeah, okay. Not Frost Week. I don't know.
Toronto's
As they
good,
continue
Toronto's
on,
weird.
it's
Whatever,
it's
college
Toronto.
students.
They're not going to get involved, but they're going to stare.
Take a picture, it lasts longer.
So
No,
so
no
at the-
pictures.
at the corner of the building, there's a wooden telephone pole type, nice and big. So a little bit of a shadow there. There's a couple of recycle bins. A couple of cars are parked along there. There's lots of space and lots of shadows. And as you come around the corner, you're going to see 4 raccoons. Kind of a big scrawny one, 2 medium size. They look to be, average 2 or 3-year-old raccoons, and the tiny little round one who is like nose deep in the cabbage roll, eating furiously. And the scrawny one looks up at you and goes, "Okay, so what gives? How come you parlay la langue of the peoples?"
That's
Ask him if he knows big roots and digs.
do you know
Oh
big
yeah.
roots and what was the last one? Digs?
Digs.
Digs.
Oh, bigs, bigger than most. Yeah. They're down by the all night stuff. They're down by the late night stuff. Yeah, and roots through your stuff and digs through your stuff. Yeah, we know them.
Yeah, they know them.
How do you know them?
I gave them oregano.
Is oregano good?
Give them
Oh,
a
they
whole
were
slice
feeling
of
real
pizza,
good
some
that day.
baklava. I think we gave him an entire donair, if I remember correctly.
How come you're not giving us oregano, Ben?
I didn't go.
I
to
mean,
my
we're
oregano
better
dinner
than
today.
we're better than Biggs and his crew. I mean, what did they do to get oregano?
Lee can dig in her pockets and see if she's got any condiments of some kind. Anything in particular that we know of the future bistro that has certain condiments or side stuff?
Well, I mean, side stuff, you'd probably have sour cream. You'd have fried onions, probably some mushrooms,
Well, what
things like
what
that.
what does Lara have in her pockets?
That's actually what I was going to ask next.
Ellie's got nothing. She turns out her pockets.
Just a
like,
pocket
okay.
of sour cream.
Give me
no.
give
No
me a
ramekin.
give me a willpower roll. 7s and above, please.
Oh, just to let y'all know, that oregano was not oregano. They were feeling real good by the end of the night. And hungry, probably.
We're in
It's
Canada.
okay.
So
That's
it's
why we
all
gave him a
good.
hold on air.
it's legal
Yep.
up here.
Yep.
That's only 2 successes. That's horrible.
Gasp.
No, actually, 2 successes is excellent. If you'd gotten 3 or more, you wouldn't have anything in your pockets. 2 means you lifted a couple of small things. So have at it. You can have, 1 something in each pocket.
So I'm going to have in one pocket like one of those little plastic takeout condiment containers that has sour cream in it.
Okay.
And in the other pocket, another condiment takeout container, but slightly bigger, that has fried onions in them. In it, they're
Okay.
kind of
Oh.
lukewarm by this point because obviously,
Yes. Yep.
So Lara pulls them both out. Are these gonna help?
And the 3 that are not the small round one all go up on their back legs and their noses in the air sniffing, and one of them goes, "Oh, that's onions in there, isn't it?" And the scrawny one goes, "Yes, they are." And who gets them first? And the other 2 go, "Yeah, you do." And he goes, "Well, that's okay."
And since Lara doesn't understand any of
Crawl's
this,
got the cabbage.
since Lara doesn't understand any of what they're chittering about, she goes to Alette. Alette, should I give these to them?
Give them to them fast.
All right. So Lara puts them down on the ground and then slides them over.
Maybe open the sour cream?
They have, yeah. If they can open garbage cans, they can open a condiment container.
Well,
of sour
yeah,
cream.
sure.
And the 2 that look much the same kind of bolt forward, and each of them opens one of them and drags them back. And the scrawny one kind of looks back and forth and goes, "Okay, yeah, this will do." And digs in. And
Yeah.
all 3 of them are stuffing faces. So the scrawny one, onion half chewed, and looks up and goes, "Okay, so is this just a gift, or are you wanting something?"
Lara, they declared you their queen, and they want you to do a ceremonial mating dance.
Wait a minute.
Wait a second. Lara's looking around. She's like, I don't know how to dance. And I'm actually just looking at my sheet to see if I have any performance or anything like that. What is it? For Changeling storyteller?
It would be under performance.
Okay, so
It'd be performance
there we
and
go.
dex.
Yeah, I have 0 in performance. So Lara just turns to Alette and says, I don't dance. I don't know how to dance.
If you don't dance, they will eat us.
Can I have you dance for me as my substitute?
They did not declare me queen. This will be an insult to their fur god.
I'm sensing the distinct smell of BS right now.
I don't think that is what they're on about.
Them eat us.
I agree with Lee. This sounds sus.
This sounds very sus indeed. Wait, sus?
Alette, what are you up to?
Nothing.
You sure?
At this point, it was a nice try. Someone with insightful and 4 dots in perception. It was worth a shot.
So the scrawny one swallows down the onion, that deep fried onion ring that he's eating, grabs another one, and he kind of taps the one to his left on the head and says, "So this is Fine's the best stuff." And then he kind of stuffs the onion ring in his mouth, and around it, he taps the one on his right and says, and this is herder of the kidlings. And the kidling back there, and he kind of looks at the small round one who's finishing off the cabbage roll. That's crawls in dim spaces. And I'm climbs highest. So what's the
everyone their
deal?
names.
What's the trade?
Do you guys want anything from them?
Huh.
We could take them with us, release them at the studio. An army of raccoons.
I mean, they could.
Would they be willing to spy for us?
How do we know there aren't raccoons there already? We would just have to I mean,
Ask them
we
if they know
haven't-
any of the raccoons over at Pinewood.
They could also steal
Yeah.
stuff, like a
Alette?
certain thing that we need, like a script, perhaps.
Oh, Alette, can you ask them if they can spy for us and things like that, and tell them that the Pinewood Studios, they have lots and lots of food because craft services always throws a bunch of stuff away.
And the guys who run it really don't care. Ralph, you know what I'm talking about, Lily? Or you know who I'm talking about?
Lily would probably know. Crystal has forgotten completely.
No, I'm pulling an improv.
Ah,
You know Ralph from Craft Services? You know, that guy that
Right.
really doesn't care?
yeah. I mean they don't even cover the garbage. It's just like open top bins.
Hope you like fruit salad with fruit flies.
So
Maybe
If
that's
you-
extra protein.
if you guys are willing to work with us, come with us and steal a few things, it'll be a smorgasbord of whatever junk food you want. And that one right there with the curly hair will
Uh-oh.
knit you raccoon mittens.
So the three heads come together. The small round one is licking his fingers clean, having finished the cabbage roll. But three heads come together and there's whispering. And the scrawny one in the middle kind of bobs up and says, "Okay, come with you where?"
It's called Pinewood Studios, correct?
Yep.
Okay. Pinewood Studios.
What's Pinewood Studios?
They know what that is.
It's a place where they make movies.
What's a movie?
Mm,
A moving picture.
No, she playing 20
Um,
questions with them? Oh, this is cute.
Oh,
Is it
Um,
very far to this Pinewood Studios?
how far is Pinewood Studios?
No, not too far. And we'll bring you back.
Is it more than 3 blocks?
Yes.
Yes.
No. We can't go unless we have permission from Mr. Clean. At which point the other 3 all go, "He's the cat's pajamas."
Well, you ask Cat's Pajamas and get back to me.
There's another one called Cat's Pajamas? What?
Who's
Raccoons have a
cat's
boss?
pajamas?
There's a
No,
raccoon lord?
No, we'd have to ask Mr. Clean. And then all 3 again go, "He's the cat's pajamas."
Who is Mr. Clean?
Oh, this unison chittering is really, really adorable.
Isn't Mr. Clean the one with the bald
No.
head?
Do they have someone that bosses them around that's like not a raccoon?
Is he like a mob boss that's called
Are
the
people
Clear?
like us?
Ooh.
Well, changeling maybe?
So
you
like
just
Lord
do
of the
the boss?
Raccoons? Is there a Lord of the Raccoons?
Is there a raccoon? I wanted to be the raccoon lord. It just keeps getting worse.
I'm down to go down this rabbit hole. I don't know about you.
Can you take us to your boss?
Oh, are you talking Mr. Clean? And all 3 of them go, "He's the cat's pajamas."
Did it again.
Yes, take us to Mr. Clean.
Oh, he's not the boss. He's the king.
You guys have a king.
He's
We
he's
offer-
he's the high muckety muck.
If you help us, we promise a queen for your king.
And the three heads go together and there's whispering, and the scrawny one sticks up and goes, I don't know.
Endless
No,
tongue
no,
agreement?
no, nobody talks to Mr. Clean. And all three of them go, he's the cat's pajamas, with the small round one going, pajamas, kind of a little later than the
Okay,
other two.
that's
And he
but
goes,
that-
no, Mr. Clean talks with you. He's the cat's pajamas.
Where
talk
can
with
we
you
meet
like
Mr.
Alette talk
Clean?
with you. Alette, I don't think you're the only puka in Toronto.
There's more of me
Well, in general, yeah. We
here.
maybe we just haven't met him yet.
So
I mean,
I
I
can
know I'm
be
not
the
the only
raccoon
issue.
queen.
Alette,
Maybe.
tell them that if they take us to their king, I will tell them which house on my block will have their trash cans open once a week at a certain time. I'll make sure it happens. They have those silly locks, but they have all the good stuff, and I'll make sure that it's open.
I relay that information.
Okay. And there's whispering, and they're like, okay, what's her block?
What's your block?
I am 2 blocks from here.
2 blocks from here.
And the scrawny one kind of sticks the nose up and goes, which way?
North. Well, I'm sorry. I'm assuming that Alette has relayed this information to me, and I'm
Yes.
saying north.
Yes.
The scrawny one says, is that away from the water or towards the water?
Oh,
Away.
yeah. They wouldn't necessarily know north or south or
Yeah.
Oh.
away
names
from
of
the water.
anything.
Yeah, away from the water.
That way. Yeah, that's Mooch's spot. We can't be on Mooch's spot because Mooch isn't on our spot. Mr. Clean, and all three of them go, he's the cat's pajamas, with the little one kind of waiting to the end and kind of goes, pajamas. He says, tells all the raccoons where they get their spots. This is our spot, almost all the way down to the big water, and 2 of those big flat street things that way, and 2 of those big flat street things that way.
I tried.
Well, that's an
But
idea.
We could tell Mr. Clean, he's the kid's pajamas. That some not human humans want to talk with him, and then maybe you could come back here in half a moon, and we'll discuss it, and we'll see if he wants to come in and talk with you.
Okay.
So it's half a moon. So when the moon's all dark, we'll
Okay.
make sure we're around this area.
Yeah.
And one of them finds goes, yeah, bring more baklava. That, yeah. And the tiny one goes, a cabbage roll.
Deal. Everyone, half a moon. We meet here to meet you know who, because Lily,
Yes.
you owe them raccoon mittens.
Raccoon mittens.
Neat.
They wanted you to make raccoon mittens. And if you could, some cat's pajamas.
Cat's pajamas.
My raccoon may be a little rusty.
And with a little bit of pushing and chittering at each other, that who got the best food there and where they're going to go to next. The three larger ones kind of head deeper into the shadows towards the back of the parking lot. And after a moment, one of them kind of circles back around. He pokes the little round one a couple of times, who goes, "Oh yeah." And then he joins them and they all kind of skitter off into the shadows.
Okay.
Huh. Well, that
I don't
happened.
quite know what we accomplished, but we accomplished something.
So half a moon. So
I don't know, but it
2
was fuzzy.
So 14 days,
So
2 weeks.
cute.
weeks.
Because the moon is full now, and if they wanted me during the new moon, then yeah.
So soon we will have an army of raccoons.
That'd be neat.
Well, did you ever find out if Mr. Clean was a not human like us?
I guess that's something we'll have to find out in 2 weeks.
Well, darn.
As a
Yeah,
storyteller,
really.
I'm not sure I trust the Motley with an army of raccoons, but we're going to find out.
Hey, you gave it to us.
We are going to make peace amongst the raccoons and their raccoon turf war. That is the subplot for this entire series.
You brought this on yourself,
So
Cliff.
once the BBEG comes around, we can stick an entire army of raccoons on them.
We have our B plot. We have our B plot.
Note to self. Do not create
stands for
raccoon
bends.
characters for changelings ever again. Next time, go with Canadian geese. They're much nastier.
Yes.
They're
Fly, my
easily swayed
pretties.
with
Fly,
bread,
fly.
Oh. I don't know that we could bribe them. Well, bread. You bribe them with bread. We could
Or peas.
or
The health-
peas.
peas
Yeah,
peas
but
are healthier.
like, you know, we could find like a really good bakery that like does the fresh bake every day and like bribe them with fresh bread. That I bet we could get a geese army with that.
Can you imagine if they're like French Canadian and sounding and we just throw them brioche all the time? That'd make their day.
Okay, that looks like a good place to wrap this night. And then I'm guessing, I'll head off to the studio Friday to introduce Penn to this Mr. Osgood. So this is also a great time for us to take a little break to allow people to stand up, stretch, do a little dance, make a little jig, some dehydrate, rehydrate, grab a snack because snacks are important. Keep on, the ride has not stopped for tonight, viewers. We're going to go to the studio in a few minutes and see what kind of zany antics the Motley gets up to there. So we shall see you momentarily.
Paint your sky in phthalo blue and alizarin crimson, swirls of cadmium yellow, sienna and vermilion. Make it any way you want, 'cause it's your world in the end. Paint yourself a little tree and give it a little friend. Pick the colors that you like, held together on your brush. If you don't like it, you can try again, there is no rush. You don't need to justify, you got nothing to defend. Know that there is nothing wrong with having a tree as a friend. sky. Add some white and burnt umber and give your world highlights. You're the creator of this world. Find your freedom on its canvas. Make a small room of your own, or dream up entire planets. You can do what you want. Just make it passionate. There are no mistakes, just happy accidents. Just use your imagination any way you please. This is your creation, so build it as you see. Seek out new sensations, or sail the seven seas. You're the only one to be a happy little tree. We're all happy little trees. We're always swaying in the breeze. We're all happy little trees. I'm not saying it'll always be simple. I'm not saying it's a life of ease. I'm not saying everybody will love you or that you won't make enemies. I'm not saying that it's all a party while we're swaying in the breeze. I'm not saying it'll all be chocolate and cheese, but we're all happy little trees. We're all happy little trees. While we're swaying in the breeze, we're all happy little trees. Paint your sky in phthalo blue and alizarin crimson, swirls of cadmium yellow, sienna and vermilion. Make it any way you want, 'cause it's your world in the end. Paint yourself a little tree and give it a little friend. Pick the colors that you like, held together on your brush. If you don't like it, you can try again. There is no rush. You don't need to justify. You got nothing to defend. Know that there is nothing wrong with having a tree as a friend.
And welcome back, viewers, to Act 2, Scene 1. The Motley goes to the studio. Let's see how the Motley is doing in the world of movie making, which, if any of you have ever worked in that world before, is an insane and interesting and convoluted and chaotic and, so high energy world, except for those who are like laid back and cool about it, which just kind of, weirds everyone out. So it's Friday, early in the day. Let's see, Lara, of course, will go to Unit 11. Alette will be down there with the animals, wrangling them and wrangling Dan and Gus as well. Lee can head directly there because she has nothing else going on. But Lily, what are you going to do about work at the library?
So it's Friday now?
Yes.
Just checking. Okay. um well, they don't need me to do the book cart thing because I already did that with at the hospital with the kids. Wow, I'm sorry, my brain's just really not in my head. Because my impulse is to just kind of not show up at the library because
Okay. You can roll with that.
I'm just I would say that Lily is getting confused with this dual scheduling and honestly triple scheduling with the Motley. So yeah, she's gonna forget and just prepare and go to the studio as if that is totally where she's supposed to be when it's not, but it is
Okay.
kind of.
And how are we getting Penn involved?
Yeah, Penn. So maybe say in the group text. So it's Friday morning and just be like, so Penn, I'm going to the studio right now. Do you want to come too, or like how are we doing this?
I was hoping that you would all get me a way in. Yeah, we didn't quite think about that through.
Well, cause I applied, but that then later didn't matter, and Lee got in through a friend of her social workers, but then that also didn't matter. So honestly, you could just probably show up.
Okay.
Lee types down, if you walk around with a safety vest and a clipboard, you can pretty much go anywhere.
Oh, the high vis and clipboard trick. I can do that.
Thumbs up.
This.
I'm gonna get a high vis and a clipboard. I'm gonna just try and get to a movie set, I guess.
Lara sends a coffee emoji.
Okay. Where are you going to be, or where are you meeting, or where are you at?
Well, what was that? The studio building that we were at.
Studio 4 at Pinewood is the center of the whirlwind of chaos over which Donovan Osgood somewhat reigns.
Right, and yes, so I would again type in that we met Donovan at Studio 4. I tend to start my day there, so I could meet you there.
Yeah, that works for me.
Thumbs up.
Lara just writes, yep, that works for me too.
Leads in gonna write, let us know any issue. I may be able to try a way to get you in if there's any trouble. If not, you're good.
We'll find out. I'm gonna go to a coffee shop like Starbucks. I'm going to grab a tray of coffees. And I'm gonna try and walk into the set with confidence. Like I am the gopherist gopher ever to gopher.
Okay, getting down to Pinewood is very easy. There are a couple of different transit routes that will get you there because especially when it's busy, there are a lot of extras and a lot of crew and other people who do not get driven to the studios. And so they have to come down via TTC. Finding Studio 4 is fairly simple and easy. And it is, when you get in the doors, it is a massive movement and light and color and sound and people and talking. There are people moving all over the place. There are people with clipboards. There are people going by carrying cables and tape, bits of equipment. There are people rushing the other way, carrying arms full of fabrics and clothing. There are, two guys moving the obligatory large pane of glass carefully through the area from someplace to someplace else. There's a lot of activity going on.
I am going to grab the trays of coffee and I am going to try and walk in with confidence. Deep breath. I can do this.
Yep. Nope. You stroll in and nobody seems to pay any mind to you at all.
Okay.
If I'm already there, would I be able to see
Yep.
Pen? Okay, so
Yes.
I'm just kind of gonna flag you down and go, "Hey, Pen."
Hey. I made it. So what's the plan? I got coffee.
That is already perfect because you the low sea of humanity.
Here, I brought you a peppermint tea.
Thank you.
It's got honey in it, like you like.
Yay. Lily wiggles in appreciation. So yes.
The coffee was actually for my friends, but it made sense to walk in with a tray of coffees.
Speaking of which, where's the rest of the Motley at?
I think Lara, upon hearing that Pen is on her way, would basically send a message saying, "Yeah, we should talk to Mr. Donovan about the getting the script writing thing going, and what that means. I'll be over on my Segway in 5 minutes."
Your
Right.
Lair is becoming a known sight on the Segway, bustling between the two studios. You are not the only one. There are about 5 or 6 people who tend to buzz back and forth on Segways. As far as you're aware, most of them tend to carry messages, though you suspect at least one, this guy who's always got this huge smile plastered on his face when he's segueing back and forth, doesn't carry messages. He just goes back and forth between the studios and likes being on the Segway.
I forget. Are PAs wired like radio and stuff like that?
There are radios that you can pick up when you show up. There is an area set aside for the production assistants near the production office, which means basically a 4-foot by 3-foot wooden prop table down the hallway and around the corner in the hallway that has several banks of radio headsets and those little chargers that are plugged into a plug in the wall in the hallway. And generally PAs are the ones that pick them up, though you're pretty sure you've seen at least one carpenter scoop one at one point, and possibly an extra, you're not sure.
Okay, she's just gonna text because have their phones on site. Just to the group chat. Just leaving locations. Pen, where you at?
I'm with Lily. I have coffee for you.
Cool, whereabouts? It's also a very big smiley face with a coffee emoji.
Studio 4.
It's Studio 4.
Oh, sweet. Home base. She puts in quotation marks and then be there.
Yes, and you're not very far from Studio 4.
And listen to hear, hey guys.
Oh, hi Lee.
And Alette, are you going to be trundling over and joining them?
I am.
Excellent. As the only one that can actually put up with Donovan when he's throwing things around. Now that might be handy for the Motley.
Yes.
So for Alette, Pen went to the coffee shop and asked the barista to surprise And that's what Alette gets, is the surprise drink. I have no idea what's in it.
Well, let me find out. Hang on. What happens when I ask Google for fanciest coffee?
Is there a fancy coffee randomizer?
I didn't know.
It's probably
Oh,
like
I'm not doing that one.
it's probably like a frappuccino, like a cookie crunch frappuccino with like caramel drizzle inside of it or something. And it's like obnoxiously sweet.
But yet low fat, made with soy milk or something.
No, then
Okay. Oh, there we go. All sorts of intro. Oh, wow.
Don't get lost
Okay.
in the rabbit hole.
Yeah, I was going to say, holy crow, there's a whole lot of like really interesting coffees out there these days. So yeah, no, this is well, it's called El Cafecito. And it's a lot of a very nice, large, deep, dark coffee with 2 dashes of bitter chocolate, a half dash of a simple syrup, a half ounce of coffee liqueur, and an ounce of dark rum. So this is definitely the way to start your morning.
Wow.
and where's Laura?
Lara is on a Segway. She has like one of those low cardboard boxes. It's almost like a tray, and it's filled with like little plant pots of different various plants that she's been asked to bring over while she's going over there to Studio 4. They look oddly enough like oregano plants and other various herbs and other things that one might use in a magical shop or whatever, or you know, and then in the middle of it is a coffee,
Of course there is.
and she's just like she's carrying it like this, and like she's got her Segway. She's almost there.
Lily will just kind of wave when you're when Lara's near enough to see.
Hey, they want me to drop these off. They said like, and she's yelling at this point. They said that it needs to go with the magic props.
Okay, come back when you're done.
So Lara goes and goes around, and Storyteller, I don't know where there would be a place for such props and things like that.
It takes a few minutes, but you know, you bother about 4 people, and one of them actually gives you directions that make sense. And there's, you know, around the corner and over to the next building to Studio 3, and just in there and in the back, kind of, there's a prop area set up. So it's an extra 3-4 minutes maybe.
And then as soon as Lara comes back, Penn will throw up the potentially now empty coffee and hand Lara a triple Americano with cream and sugar.
Thank you, Pen. This is awesome. And Lara puts it down on like the tray that she has with her Segway, and she's like, I'm gonna hold off on drinking this. Gertie told me I shouldn't be drinking caffeine, so I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try really hard. At least 5 minutes I'll wait. But thank you for getting it for me.
And I'll put the empty one in the trash. Be like, okay, so we got to meet Osgood. That's a thing.
Yeah, well, because his office is in Studio 4.
Yes.
So, but I figured we should, you know, collect ourselves with ourselves first, and then do that.
Okay. Cool. Cool. Are we collected?
I think look, this looks like us.
Has Alette arrived?
Oh,
She's there.
I thought
Oh,
you
I've got
were.
the super fancy coffee drink.
Right. Yes.
Okay.
Pen
And
handed you
just
the
as
mystery
you're-
coffee.
just as Pan hands Alette the mystery coffee, that well-known and often sought after whirlwind, the eye of the storm himself, gets within about 10 or 15 yards, and you can hear the voice.
He's got actually he's kind of arm carrying two what are they, travel containers of various looking coffees, and yet somehow still has his tablet tucked under, sort of it's almost balancing with the weight of the coffee. He's holding the tablet and he's sort of flipping through. Okay, so Annie, we really need those swords. Find something, go over to five probably has them stuffed in a box somewhere. Seriously, Ben, now come on, buddy, you promised me. All right, seriously, that gingham thing yesterday, like last week, was just a terrible thing. All right, seriously, we got to fix that. And it's coming up. Seriously, it's like Thursday, like 2 weeks from now. You just gotta. So, and he basically just starts handing. He kind of walks up to his office, hands out coffees to all of them as he's kind of just like spinning around and sort of just waiting. The coffee sort of hanging in your faces, waiting to be taken. Don't leave me hanging here. Come on, ladies.
Oh,
I'm not a lady, but I appreciate that. I'll take the coffee.
Gentle folks. My mistake. And he's just handing out. Okay, Larry, seriously, buddy. I love
that,
these are
that
great.
means I'm like dual wielding now.
Mr. Osgood, this is Pen. Right there.
Beautiful. Pleasure to meet you. Welcome to my chaos. This is the 5th. This is all of you then.
Yep.
That were sent to do the thing. Okay.
Mhm.
Come in. And he basically just sort of like nudges the door open and just walks in. Goes around the desk, puts the coffees down. Anybody wants any more sort of thing? I've got muffins coming. Sort of slides around the desk, does a full Riker, sits on the chair backwards. It occurred to me that when I hired you, when you came in the first time, when we first laid eyes upon each other, I came across as a bit brusque. And I can appreciate you feeling that way because nobody likes their shit dealt to be micromanaged, especially me. So here's the thing. I have an idea, and it works along the same lines as what you are here for. And mutual problems can be solved, you see. This studio, the entire thing that I've got going, creative process, I am trying to churn up as much glamour as I can, but it's being siphoned, you see. And the guy I mentioned to you last week, Green, he's the one doing it. I know he is. I just can't find him. He's in like a couple of buildings and he moves around far too much. It's kind of like me, only like a negative version, Snidely Whiplash version of me or something. I don't know.
Goatee and sash.
He's the one deliberately sabotaging the thing. That's where your glamour sink is going to be.
And not in the production as a whole. Because
No.
I mean, a big budget production.
This is
like
nothing but creativity.
From what I've heard, we've got some problems with the script.
Yeah,
could
Green.
potentially siphon gas. Green's in charge of the script.
Yeah.
Do I believe this individual after everything that my party has told me before? Do I believe this individual?
Yeah, I just realized I totally spaced out on telling you about Phalo Green. Can we kind of like?
Yeah, that's the lead. All right, that's okay. That's okay. I was overwhelming. I came across too strong. That's on me. I appreciate the chance to be able to work with you to accomplish this task.
So, GM, what would an insight roll be?
Don't they have insight? I thought they did.
Well, yeah, it is a subsection of perception that I have. Would it be kenning and
Yeah.
perception?
Where even am I?
Not quite. 'Cause kenning has to do with magic. It would be because no, they don't really have insight.
Empathy, maybe?
Yeah, you know what? Empathy would be the closest one. I was thinking alertness is not quite it, but yeah, empathy would be the closest to insight.
Empathy and perception.
Empathy and perception.
I do have insightful as a skill for
Okay,
under
that allows
perception.
you to double your tens, which is excellent. However, Donovan being what Donovan is, your difficulties are going to be 8s, 9s, and 10s.
Okay. Luckily, these are also my corner stats, so I've got
Good.
dice to spare on this one.
Oh, I have a specialty in this too. Look at that.
So yeah, you're going to be rolling manipulation
Oh, yes.
plus okay, that's what would make the most sense. Actually, believe it or not, performance would make the most sense.
Oof. Do I get extras for having 2 specialties?
No, because your
boo.
second specialty does not apply.
Tens are doubled,
They are indeed.
but only when you get 2 of them.
No, all 10s
Oh.
are doubled.
Okay. And I'm getting, what are my difficulties?
Because of who and what you are, you're going to be 7s, 8s, 9s, and 10s.
Okay. 3, 4, 7.
Also 7.
Oh.
I rolled 2 9s, 2 10s, and an 8, and then a 1 and a 2.
I have no ones though.
Okay, tie tends to go to the defender.
Ooh, okay.
So you're not sure, Pen. You're kind of he's telling the truth about some things, but you're not exactly sure which things. You almost want to buy the snake oil, but
Would
you're
Lily
not
be able
sure
to
it'll
do
cure
anything with this?
everything. If you want to roll a perception plus empathy, it's 8s, 9s, and 10s, and you need more than 7 successes.
That will not. I don't have. No. Even because I don't have anything in empathy.
Ooh. I wish there was a way that you like in V5 where you can like spend a willpower to re-roll your dice or re-roll some of your pool. I wish there was something like that.
Unfortunately, yes.
Unfortunately, no.
They don't. Yeah, they don't quite have a dump of glamour and because glamour doesn't come back that fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
You're not
I
telling
can't-
us everything, and some of the things that you are telling us aren't quite true, and some of the things that you are telling us are maybe true, but from a certain point of view. If you're trying to Obi-Wan Kenobi this, and I don't know. I don't know if I'm buying it.
Well,
You're good though. You're really good.
I mean, I'm stunned that you didn't bring her with you the first time. It would have helped clarify so many things. All right. You want the full story? You want the
Yeah.
ins and outs and the whole thing?
Hmm.
Okay. What I told you about Green is true. He's been messing around. He's fucking with the script, and he's draining it. Basically, it's like anything I produce, anything that this chaotic energy develops in terms of glamour gets siphoned and I can't stop it, but he's the source. I know he is. I am
How do you
also
know?
looking for
How
the
do
door.
Okay.
You're also looking for a door, I heard.
I'm looking for a door.
A door to Vancouver or a door to the Fae?
It's a trod.
Does that trod lead to other parts of the country?
Maybe eventually if you find another door.
Interesting.
So you don't know what the end point of it looks like. You just know.
Oh, I know what's in it. I've been in it.
Well, what have you found?
Town.
Like a small town or a?
No, town. It's a place called town.
It's a place called town.
Yes.
Would Penn have run into anything like this in any of Fair Past
Ye-
Lives?
Yeah,
Um,
I was just gonna ask something similar
yeah.
for Lily of like,
Yeah.
okay, what
Gray-
Lily is supposed to
Gray-
know a lot of stuff.
Yeah, Greymare and intelligence, but it is so obscure that only tens count.
Would any of my remembrance count towards it in the fact that I have an eidetic memory?
Oh, cool.
Oh, yeah, you can roll, you can add dice to the same level of your remembrance.
Okay.
And you're going to need at least 2 to start with anything. And the more you get, the more I'll give.
So intelligence plus Greymare? you said?
Greymare, yes.
Okay.
Should I, or is that just for Penn?
That's for you as well.
Okay.
Oh gosh, I need more dice.
Same.
So 2.
Does my specialty in glamour count for anything?
Uh,
That's a tough call, actually.
you know what? It's not going to be Greymare for either of you.
No.
I forgot that this is a thing here. It's going to be enigmas.
Ooh,
Ah,
I have 1 point in enigmas.
Enigmas plus intelligence. Now,
Oh.
again, you can, for your remembrances, you can add dice for those.
Okay.
Ancient mysteries definitely applies for Lily. So you would double any of the tens you actually roll. But yeah, you're going to need tens because this is a very obscure knowledge.
Enigmas and
Enigmas plus intelligence.
okay.
I've just got 110. It's nothing that Penn knows.
Actually, hey, did you get any 9s?
I got 3 9s.
3
and a 10.
9s?
nice.
You might have heard something about this from traveling issue stories. A place called a place simply called Town that was, it's kind of tip of your tongue sort of thing. You've some issue somewhere, somewhen mentioned something about it, and not this life.
Whoa,
Ah,
that's obscure.
Yeah,
ooh,
yeah. Lily, you got how many?
I got 2 10s actually.
Nice.
You got 2 10s, which are going to double. So you actually got 4. You would know that it is in the dreaming, but not of the dreaming. It was something that some changelings were trying, but some kind of a social and glamour-based experiment.
I remember hearing stories like a long time ago. Like this might have been 3rd or 4th life. This was like a story from a friend of a friend about this, but I got nothing.
Oh, as Crystal's brain fritzes out again. I'm just no idea how frustrating it is.
You're good.
Yeah, what storyteller said? Because yeah, no, I literally just lost everything Cliff just said.
That's okay. You can go with what Cliff just said.
What Cliff just said.
Storyteller exposition.
Yeah, that one, because Crystal's brain is not cooperating today. Apologies all around.
Oh, so you know about it. It makes
like I
this
said,
so much easier. Jeez.
like I said, I heard it probably like Life 3. Someone said something at one point, a story about a place called Town.
Perfect.
That's all I know.
That you said it was an experiment, right?
There's a song, I think.
Yeah, it
song?
were
Yes,
it was a while ago. A bunch of they decided that they were going to make or try to I'm not entirely sure what. I'm not honestly.
So why do you want the door to get to town, though? Is the question, I think.
Because
What
I
do
was
you-
one of the ones that made it in.
Well, what that
Just
you're
enough
one
to realize just how bad of a dude Mayor is.
There's a mayor of town.
There's a mayor of town.
Let me guess, his name is Mayor.
That's all anybody knows him by.
A place called Town. It's run by a mayor named Mayor.
And let
What-
me guess.
I
you
like
want
this
to be
place.
the
Pretty
mayor?
simple.
I'm just thinking of the
no.
mayor from Powerpuff Girls now. That's what I think that the mayor looks like. The mayor of Townsville is now my headcanon.
Well, hi everybody. I'm the mayor of Townsville.
That's right. Like, no, mayor's got to go.
And you want to become mayor in his place?
Well, then what? If not,
And then what does green have to do with the door?
Green has nothing to do with the door. Green's a completely different thing. Green is why you were sent down to me or to my area that you didn't
Well-
know was mine.
well, okay. So it's an experimental town called Town.
Yeah.
Do you know what the experiment was?
No,
Or
actually.
like what is it?
I just met some of the townsfolk. They seem like perfectly normal people,
What's it
but-
do?
but Mayor is a terrible person. He's got to go.
What makes him so terrible?
Storyteller, what does make him so terrible? I'm trotting in different directions of this trot, and I don't know exactly where to go.
Okay, so you got
He's,
two problems that you need solutions to.
Well, actually, I have one problem I need a solution to, and I have the solution to your problem that I am willing to
So-
help you with.
So the solution to both our problems is to get rid of green or neutralize green.
Nah, that's your problem. My problem is finding this door, which seems to be, I've narrowed down to being locked up somewhere in one of the buildings that Green controls. So we get rid of Green or get him out of the way. You have your banality sink dissolved or dealt with, whatever. Queen Smurfette is happy. And I find my door. Win-win. I mean, I'd love your help if you were to help me depose a mayor. That would be cool. I even bought you coffee. Peace offering. Because I points at Lara. I love watching her on coffee. So you will always have coffee whenever I'm around.
Me too.
Coffee anyway. But thanks.
no,
Lara,
no,
is
yeah,
Lara
exactly.
able to be snarky now? Like, is the soft
So far, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Alright,
no,
cool.
he hasn't rolled to do that thing again.
I can have coffee.
Oh, I know. I just love watching you on coffee.
Well, isn't that just grand?
Let's not be snide.
We
Remember
would
what happened
have-
last time?
What happened last time?
Is that I
walked
flexed.
into that. I walked into that. Nobody was.
He got majestic real fast.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you did like the.
I'm offering you
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Ah.
Yep.
an
Sparkle, sparkle.
opportunity, and I'm even employing you. 4 or 5 of you have signed contracts to me.
Speaking of, can I see a copy of those contracts real quick?
What she said.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you have to actually sign one as well. So yes, absolutely.
Oh boy.
How bad are we in it?
Let's find out.
Here's
am
where the
gonna-
storyteller gets creative.
I am going to very carefully read over those contracts.
How effed are we?
Meanwhile, Lara's leaning over to Lee and she's like, "So, remember how we were talking about those role-playing books about the vampires and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they do something like what Mr. Osgood did. They do something like that like you can control people and make them all like you and stuff. It's kind of really creepy."
It's either, yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. I don't remember the word for it, but
Hmm.
Yeah,
it's a little bit manipulative, but you know what? At the same time, it makes people like you.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah, but anyway, so these books are kind of really cool. Like, I wouldn't mind sitting down with the group and maybe playing them or whatever.
I'll have to see what my rules are for guests. So we should do it at my place. It's got a bit of a creepy vibe, especially at night.
Ooh, yeah. Your place might be interesting.
My place is interesting.
What you got, storyteller?
What
With
does-
respect to what? The contracts?
Yeah, what does the contract?
Yeah,
like,
we're waiting.
Pen is reading
We're
over
waiting
the
on you.
contracts very, very carefully.
It is a standard employment contract, $47,000 per year for services to the studio as defined by Donovan Osgood. Or Donovan Osgood's office.
The office of Donovan Osgood.
Yep. And you are employed for the duration of the filming of Perry Hodgkins and his adventures at Wolfhard University.
I'd like to do just is there anything hinky about these contracts? Anything that's like some sort of hidden magical underneath? I'm also holding it up to the light to see if there's invisible ink. Pen is very paranoid at this point.
No, it's like an electric tablet thing.
Oh.
Yeah, it's on
Yeah.
a tablet. So you hold it up to the light and go, well, it blocks the light. That is excellent.
Also
No, there's nothing that you can see or feel. You can give me a perception plus kenning
I would love to do that.
if you would like. And
I would love to do that.
I am totally going to
Difficulties?
find the hidden thing.
difficulties of it's electronic and it's a little different. So 7s and up.
Okay, 7s and up. Sounds
Yes,
good.
please.
Does insightful apply?
Yes, it does. Your 10s will double.
All right, sounds good. Thank you. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes.
5 successes. Nothing that looks out of place from a standard employment contract.
Well, good news is, well, as far as I can tell, it's a mundane employment contract.
I'll
That's
try
what
not
I
to be
thought it
offending.
was.
Listen, if you've been around as long as I've been around, you tend to sort of get a little paranoid when it comes to contracts. You
I
understand,
have no
right?
doubt. I mean, you probably swore some ridiculous oath to the bride of whatever to come down here and sort through my shit in the first place. So yeah, I get it. I absolutely get it.
Hmm.
I also kind of need a job.
Well, there's that too. And I figured we're doing each other a favor. You're doing me a favor. You're getting rid of the glamour sink. You're helping me find a door. In exchange, you're getting rid of the glamour sink. So you're fulfilling your contract to what's her name? And you're helping me potentially find a problem within a magical place and deal with it, because the guy is just a bastard. Seriously, he's a tyrant.
The mayor,
You're
or are we
oppressed.
talking about Green?
We're talking about the mayor. Mayor is a tyrant. The people are oppressed. All is not what it seems in town.
Ah,
And I know
well.
this, and he knows I know it, which is why he bunted me out.
Hmm.
A lot
So
of things
now I
going
need-
down this
I've
place
been
called
trying
town.
to find the door ever since.
All right. Well, okay. So, first things first is find Green and the
Things
other
first to sign
building.
a contract, but okay.
I mean, yeah, eh.
Pen, I don't believe you're part of this department.
I mean, is there any? Do you need me to be on the books, or do you want me off the
Half
books?
of you aren't even at this department. This is a sort of a private thing that no one else really knows about except my pocketbook.
Oh wait, didn't you
And
say it
the
was with
accountants.
the other studio anyway? So wouldn't she just kind of sign something with them instead?
I mean,
I mean, that might give me access.
pretty sure one or two of the other ones are already not even employed by me directly in the studio specifically.
I'm
But
not
are anyways,
our
because contracts. So you're basically making another 40K a year for doing me a favor.
That was. Pen's just like getting like a little bit frustrated because the word favor is very loaded as well. Whew.
See?
I'm gonna help get rid of Mr. Green.
Yes. And what that will do is that will deal with the glamour sink problem here, which Baroness High Holy Blueness sent you down here to find. Yes.
Yes. But as for the door, so why do we need you?
I mean, if you want to go and deal with Mayor on your own, hey, great.
I'm
Fill
not
your
gonna,
boots.
I'm not gonna.
Guy's like a stupidly powerful sorcerer.
Oh, okay, but like
said
why
he
do
was a
we-
knocker.
Why do we even need to?
No. I
go-
said Green was a knocker.
Why do
Yeah.
we even need to go to the? Why do we
Oh.
need to even go through the door to go to town?
Well, town is beyond the door.
But what if we just take care of Green and then leave and not deal with the door?
Well, then you'd be reneging on this contract.
I technically haven't signed anything.
You are outside it, but the rest of them aren't.
But we didn't sign we signed a contract to do services. We didn't do like the kind of services that you do around a studio, the human services. We didn't sign a contract. We
You
said that
didn't
we were
read the
gonna get paid.
contract, darling. What
But
does the
Pen just
contract
read the
say?
contract. Pen,
What does the contract say that they signed?
Again, it's a standard employment contract. It says that they are hired by the offices of Donovan Osgood
Which
for
means
the
that
term of the movie to provide such services as the office requires.
yeah, it's one of those things where if you have a bad job and they say like other duties as necessary, it's a blanket term to get them to do whatever you want them to do. So technically that's the whole deal.
but that's
Yeah.
human things. That's human
Nope.
things. And
Applies to us too, unfortunately.
Damn it.
I dislike pulling a trump card.
But that's your
I
trump
really,
card.
really do.
and yeah.
I would hoping I would just be able to get your good graces by showing you the reason that you were sent down here by Baroness Barbie in the first place. But instead, I get attitude. I get
Personally,
Shit.
I am
attitude. I get guff. I get insults from the pixie. I get
insult you.
general mistrust
Okay.
for no other reason than the fact that you came down here stomping on my shit, and I wanted to know why. You should have seen them last week. It was a colossal mess. I had to actually exert some authority in order to actually get the room controlled.
All right. Okay.
Thanks.
So, all right. Here's the deal. We will.
I'm not even trying to make you do anything. I've given you green, or at least I know it's green that's doing the thing. He's isolates himself in 10, 11, and 12, usually. And I am convinced that the Stone Lake Trod door is in that section. I just can't get in on my own. And then I need to get into the Trod. I need to open the door. I need to get to town, and I would like to get rid of Mayor because Mayor is a bastard.
All right.
I would love your help. And I've been asking for it.
I appreciate the ask.
I even
Pen is
brought
going to
coffee.
sign the contract. All right. So let's get to work then.
So we're in the thick of it then, Pen?
Yep,
Okay.
for now.
Okay.
So I guess we gotta find this Mr. Green.
Mm-hmm.
Yup.
So, best of my knowledge, 10, 11, and 12.
10, 11, and 12. Okay.
So would any of us already know where that is because we've been wandering around for a week, or
I have
Do we
no
need-
idea where that is.
no? I mean, Penn wouldn't, but like the rest of us because we've been here.
Okay, I've just fired off a link to the map for Revival Studios in the chat. Revival, of course, is you're at Pinecrest, and that's where you've been for the most part. Lara, however, has been working at Revival, and she would know that she's been working up in Building C, which is up near the front. And mostly the most of the shops are letters, and most of the studios are numbers, but there are exceptions. And down in the south end, kind of facing towards Lake Ontario, are three carpentry shops and storage areas where a lot of the props are built and staging and settings are built and stuff. And they are buildings 10, 11, and 12. And they're kind of separated from all the other buildings for some reason. Most of the rest of the buildings are linked or clustered together. 10, 11, and 12 are kind of down to the south end, and kind of, there's a good amount of parking space and asphalt around them.
Lara relays that to the group.
Okay.
Quick, one last question for you, Osgood.
Dude, I'm an open book.
After you find the door and head into town, what happens to the production
Oh,
and all the glamour that you're producing?
Hopefully it keeps going. Why would you want to stop the direction of glamour?
I mean, that makes sense. So you're
I
not the
mean,
one
I'm
directly producing
hoping-
the glamour?
Sorry again?
You're not the one directly producing the glamour? By inspiring these people to be creative?
I mean, I'd like to take some credit. But I mean, the creative process exists without me. All some people need is just a nudge.
All right, let's get some segues and head over to the shops, I guess.
Oh, I'm down with the segue.
okay.
And yes, indeed, there is just outside of 4 a Segway corral.
Thought why?
Because
I wonder if there are horses in the dreaming.
I mean, also 4 is like right across. The end of 4 is like right across from 10, 11, and 12. It's not that far, according to the map.
It's it's not horrible.
You can just walk
Why do
it.
I have riding dirty riding around in my head right now?
Why
but
not?
but segues.
That actually does sound like a cool, not a cool scene, just like the dorkiest cut scene ever is smash, jump cut,
And they all sort of
slow-mo,
come in
all of
one
us
at a
run.
time. You're all facing the camera, and each one just comes up, and another one comes in at the time, and you're just rolling. Another one comes in. I
And
just
then
sort of
there's
just
just
look at each other and nod.
I want to say like like Flight of the Valkyries is playing as
Nice.
this the slow mo of the bunch of us on segways, and like Osgood just walking faster than the rest of us.
There are places in
Shaking
Toronto
his head
that do
sadly.
Segway tours. I know the
Yes.
distillery district used to do that.
Distillery
Oh,
district
gosh.
does it, yes. Yep. So as you are segueing your way to this small grouping of carpentry buildings, and
They're taking the segue to the carpentry buildings.
they're a fairly good size too. As you're cruising across between Pinewood and Revival, there's a Segway that goes the other way with this kind of tall, skinny guy with long hair on it. He was just grinning madly as he just, Lara recognizes him. He's the guy who always seems to be on the Segway. You're not even sure what his name is. Nobody's sure what his name is. He's the Segway guy.
There's just segue guy.
Segway guy.
Yep. Okay, so these buildings are, somewhere around the 4,000 to 6,000 square foot area. So they're fairly sizable. They're very tall build. There are 3 of them kind of. Building 10 is the easternmost, and it's almost twice the size of the other 2. It is a huge hulking shop building, and it's got signs out front. It's got doors on the north and on the east walls both that say shop 10 above them. They do not have windows in the doors, and there's an electronic keypad beside each of them. Beside it to the west is buildings 11 on the north and 12 on the south, both a little smaller, still very tall, concrete and metal structures. And again, doorways don't have windows on them. They do have lights and cameras above them, and they all have the electronic locks.
And I'm assuming that our good friend Osgood does not have access to the electronic.
Not the buildings that I don't control.
Fair enough. Okay.
I remember something about maybe it needs to be entered facing water. It just kind of, yeah.
So we would have to go to the back end to Lakeshore.
What? Facing water.
Maybe
Maybe
that works.
I mean,
There's
because you said you've been here and that you
11's big enough to hold something that size.
you keep looking and not finding. Maybe we just need to try the other side.
Because the other side would be 10 and 12, and they are facing Lakeshore Boulevard, and you said water.
Yeah.
Lead on.
Pen's gonna skirt around the building.
Okay.
Okay.
Following Pen.
Yeah.
Where did we get that information from?
So
Facing water?
they've circled the buildings, and you're going to segue your way around them. Excellent. Okay.
I it just kind of I've been trying to remember what I could of this whole town place, and that just sort of finally popped in.
Okay, so you buzz it around, and it's mid-afternoon. There are some people in the lot area moving between studios and stuff. There seems to be some activity up by one of the other buildings to the north, but it's fairly quiet around these buildings.
Are there people like moving things out of the shops and towards the set?
No, there is nobody moving anything around these shops. The only activity is for a couple of the buildings further north.
10 or 12.
No idea.
Does Lara's key card give her access to this? Because I know that Donovan's key cards don't give us access, but Lara's got the revival key card. Does that give her access to this buildings?
Well, we could give it a try and find out.
Oh, isn't it like randomly able to open more stuff than it should because they hadn't fixed the key card system?
That could be it. Let's try.
Or it could be a little bit of Lara.
Yeah. Well, Lara has 2 key cards actually. She has the one key card that is hers and the one key card that magically cloned itself. So, let's try the first one.
And which door?
yeah.
Which building?
Which one do we want to go in, friends?
Starting with 10, aren't we?
Eeny meeny.
Go in 10.
12. Let's try 12.
Okay. All right. Everybody in agreement?
Sure.
Alette, Lee.
I mean, if it doesn't work, we'll just try one of these other ones. There's only 3.
All right.
Left is right because right is wrong.
Okay. So let's try
Okay.
number 12.
So 12 has large bay doors on the south end, kind of those huge wooden, they open up and you can drive a truck in kind of doors. And they look like they swing out. They don't go side to side or roll along tracks. And it's got a people-sized door on the west, the west wall. So which do you want to try?
I think we went like sort of counterclockwise around the building. Would we have passed the door for 10 as well on the way there?
Yes. 10 has got a people-sized door on the east and the north. And then 11 has those big drive-in doors again on the north and a people-sized door on the east.
Let's try 12.
Okay.
Go to the side entrance and go boop.
Side entrance. So you touch your card against the little electric pad on the side entrance and you hear, and the little light goes green.
Ooh.
And there's a loud click.
Yay. All right.
Sweet.
All right, friends, let's go in. And Lara opens the door.
I'll hold the door for everyone.
Okay. You go in and it's a very sizable, it's 2 stories tall inside. It's fairly wide open. There are a lot of crates and bundles of stuff kind of in the middle, though there's still kind of a walkway between, there are several piles of crates, furniture, what look like unfinished bits of backdrop or, something that carpenter is working on. Up along the north wall, you can see a big set of double doors that obviously connect 12 and 11. And along the shared wall between 12 and 10, there's carpentry tables and racks of tools and all sorts of stuff. And then you've got, again, the big double doors down towards on the south end of 12. Big gray wooden doors that quite apparently swing out so that you could drive a truck in and out.
It'd be too easy if the big double doors opened up into town. But there's no like prop doors, anything like that. It's just
Nope, there are no prop doors.
I mean, how do we, you said you've been there before, so what was it like before?
Door getting in?
Entrance wise, how did you know which one it was?
That's a good question. Gray. It was gray. There was a lot of gray.
Like color or do you mean like a flavor?
Gray is a flavor?
Can be.
Yeah.
Gray stuff is delicious.
Gray stuff or grape stuff?
Well,
No, the gray stuff is delicious.
delicious. I mean,
Don't
if
Don't
believe
you
me.
Ask
That's
the
the
dishes.
dishes.
Oh no, that's not what I meant.
And Cliff's gone.
I don't know. He might have messed with my memory to stop me from getting back in. I don't know. I just remember a lot of gray.
Mm.
Okay.
So, all right.
So-
door.
Is there any way that we can see things that are like that normal people can't see?
Yeah, like Fey vision.
I don't know that there is a detect magic spell in this world.
I have the thing for that, but I need a storyteller because I don't know how to do it.
I need a storyteller.
I need a storyteller, please.
What's the spell?
I'm not sure. It's just because I have a lot in kenning and I have a specialty of hidden magic.
Ooh.
Oh.
Ooh. We do need a storyteller for that.
Yes, I storyteller.
My apologies, my lip did a. Yes, detect glamour. It's called kenning. It's how you detect each other and other interesting things like dross and
Yeah.
magical
So
items and stuff.
It's
Should do that.
kenning,
then, actually.
kenning plus what?
So
if
kenning
that's the
plus
case-
perception.
Ah,
If that's the case, why would Mr. Osgood not have been able to use the same thing?
good question. I
Might
keep
be hidden
Storyteller?
asking.
from sight.
He's been
Because
given
Mr. Osgood couldn't get into the building.
vague, weird.
What's the difficulty to sense the?
It's going to be seven and up. Hidden magic, Lily definitely allows you to double your tens.
Perception and kenning?
Yes, please.
4 from Penn.
I have 3, 2 7s and a 9.
Oh, and you're loaded for kenning too, and you only got 3. Wow.
Difficulty?
Yay.
Your dice are annoying tonight.
7s and up.
A bit.
Sevens?
7s and up.
Yeah.
4.
I mean, unless I can reroll some of these.
All of them 7s, coincidentally.
We said perception and kenning, right?
Yes, please.
I have 5 successes. Like you said, 7s
Dang.
and ups.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, that's 5 successes. It's 4 8s and a 9.
Woot!
Excellent. All of you can tell you're in the right building, that there's something going on here. The ones with the very few successes can tell that there's glamour in the area. At 3 successes, you could tell it's in the south end of the building. At 4 successes, you can tell that there's something up with those really big gray doors at the end. And at 5 successes, yeah, you know what? If someone were to want to enter a trod from this building, those are the doors that they would want to walk through after they're going to need some glamour. They've got some glamour, not enough to open up to the trod.
And any
So-
any sign of our knocker friend?
Nope, the place is pretty quiet.
So those doors then, friends?
Yeah, it's something. Something is that way.
Yes. Also, are there exits to the? There should be exits to the other. I see
Yep.
doors on walls.
There's-
Like that would
There's
be
there's
exits to
well
the
there
other
is
rooms.
there is the person-sized door you came in from on the west wall. There's a person-sized door on the east wall that would connect to 10, and then
Mhm.
there's another set of huge double doors between 12 and 11. So
So it
if
could
that
be like
stuff
one
was
big-
not, yeah, if that stuff was not in the middle of the room, you could actually drive a truck right through 12 and 11, and right in from one building and out through the other. And actually, who got 4?
Good.
There's a feeling of something from the other doors too, but it's not the doors. And actually, Lara, yeah, you got 5. So there's not only are those doors at the south glamour-based somethings, but there's something past the doors to the north as well. Or maybe the door to there's something else in the area in the buildings. It might be in building 11, it might be in building 10, you can't tell.
I relay that to the group.
There's our
There's-
friend then, possibly.
Just
Our glamour sink.
everywhere.
Told you there was glamour here.
Wow. He really
lot.
is sucking it up, isn't he?
Oh. Penn might have figured something out.
Pen want to share with the class?
Hmm.
Or does Penn not want to share because Donovan's in the class?
Possibly. Okay. So first things first, we find our Mr. Green.
That's an idea.
I mean, that's inevitably where it's going to have to go.
Yeah.
Mr. Green in the study with a candlestick.
Okay,
Or like
so what?
Mr. Green in the warehouse with something. I don't know. I don't want to kill something. I don't want to kill anybody.
Can I play Mrs. Peacock?
Messy.
Okay, so what's the Motley doing? What are you going?
We're
One of the
trying to
buildings.
trying to smell out Mr. Green.
Walk towards the door on the other end leading to building 11.
Big double doors. Okay, there is no.
Is there a human-sized door that leads to 11?
Nope, just the big double doors.
Is there any way to like lift it up? Or is like a button?
Yep, there are 2 buttons over to the side.
Press the green button to lift it up.
Both buttons are blue. However, one is on the top and one is on the bottom.
The one on the top.
And there's a loud clattering, clanking, noisy metal sound as the corrugated metal door rises up towards the ceiling.
Oh, good.
And past it is a space about as big as the space that you're in. Same height, same width. There's double doors at the other end that you can see. It's this one's fairly clear. There's some wood and scraps on the floor. It's mostly been swept into 1 or 2 small piles. There's this time along the left-hand side, along the west wall, you've got all of your tools hanging up. You've got a few tools on the north wall. There are the big double doors at the north wall, again, so you could open it up and run right through. There's a little person-sized door over on the west wall, and it's got 2 larger double doors leading into 10 towards the side. So it looks like you could drive a truck in here and then drive it over into 10.
And there's nobody here.
Nope, it's empty and quiet.
And I don't.
And it's got that kind of autumn damp cement smell and feel for being a big empty cement steel box.
Yeah.
At your core.
Number 10 is going to be where we're looking.
Okay.
We'll open number 10.
Okay, those double doors actually have a keypad beside them, an electronic lock beside them. There is no button.
And there's no swipe card access, or is it just?
Oh, you can tap the card on the.
Okay. Lara's gonna try tapping her card, see if this one works again.
There's a bloop, and a little red light comes on.
Crap.
Headlights are bad.
Well, looks like I'm not successful, and this has probably been logged. So
Unless you want to try the other card.
actually, I could. Lara takes out the other card, the cloned card, or whatever it was, and tries that one.
Tap it, and there's nothing. No light, no sound, no nothing.
But the other one went out red.
Yeah.
Yeah, crap. Donovan starts basically readying, sort of going through a grimoire appears in his hand, and he flips through a couple of pages, sort of pulls some arcane energy from it. Yeah, if you set off a trap, he's gonna know.
Well,
Poof, the grimoire vanishes.
What? Sorry, you vanish? Or
No, the grimoire.
No,
Okay.
his book.
Mr. Osgood, you're much more experienced in this than I am. Are you able to fix this trap or make it not?
An electronic trap?
Yeah.
Would Penn be able to use like the legerdemain to try and pick this lock with some glamour?
Oh, now there's a good question with legerdemain. No, that's too far.
I also have larceny.
Okay.
Somehow I'm not surprised in the slightest.
I have many talents.
Yeah.
Pick up things in several hundred
Oh,
lives.
legerdemain. Let's see. No, that's ensnare. Okay. Unfortunately, nothing in legerdemain actually would allow you to pick an electronic lock. Oh, hang on.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, wait. Gimmicks might.
Could I use my funny glass? My item.
You could. What do you want to do with it?
Would basically to kind of brain. Why are you not helping me today?
What does your glass do?
Trying to locate it. It's a whisper glass, and only works on inanimate objects, which this lock is. So would I be able to use this to kind of ask the lock how to open it?
Or what its combination might be?
Or basically what the combination.
You could try.
Okay. What do I need to roll for the hat? What are we doing?
Well,
This is the first I've ever
first
used
of
this
all,
object.
okay. Hang on a second while I check to see what I need to do with it. As far as I know, you just need to put the glass against the inanimate object.
Okay.
Oh, where is it? Wilson's whisper glass.
Yep.
Okay, just like Primal 1. Hang on a second here while I check what Primal 1 does. I should have written down a slightly more descriptive. However, I tend to always have the book handy, so it allows you to speak to the world and hear its replies with inanimate objects. You must speak in a whisper and hear all replies in a whisper. Okay. Okay, so you want to roll.
Yes.
It's a primal one, so you get 1 for that. And 3 dice for prop. We'll use prop because that works. So 4 dice, and you want to do 7s and above. 7, 8, 9, or 10.
Yep.
Actually, let's do 6 and above. I'm feeling beneficent tonight. So
That's
6s and up.
It's only that's a 7. That's 9. That's a 10. And a 3.
So sorry, what did you get?
3 successes out of 4, and one of which is
Okay.
a 10.
Okay, so you know how it works is for every success, you get to ask a question.
Okay.
And the lock will respond to you. So what the rest of you see is Lily pulls out what looks like a juice glass. Nothing fancy, just a small glass. And just like, you've seen in old movies where people put the glass against the wall and put their ear against it, she puts the glass against the lock and leans her ear against it.
Hey there. So it's asking 3 questions, right?
Yes.
Yes. Well, actually, before I do this, oh God. Fine timing. What's the code to make the door open?
And you hear through the glass. What code?
What's the buttons that are pressed on you that make the door open?
There are 5.
Yeah, but in what order?
The first one first, the second one second, the third one third, the fourth one fourth, and then the last one is 5th.
Well, okay, so the keypad, is that 9?
Yep.
Okay, 9
Well,
buttons.
10 actually, 1 to 9 and a 0.
Okay, 10 buttons. So
20 different combinations, assuming they're not repeating.
right. Yeah, but so you have 10 buttons, but if I wanted to open the door, would I start? I mean, because there's a top. What is that, 4 by
3 by
3, 6, 9, and 0 at the bottom.
0.
Oh, okay. So be the top. Oh no. Because I could say the top left, but that would be my left, and its keypad wouldn't have left and right necessarily. Well, could be the top left or the top middle or the top right or the middle left or the middle or the middle right. Or do you see what I mean?
And while you're doing this, you would also have realized, Lily, that you've asked 3 questions.
So that's it. No more. All I got is that it takes 5 buttons, but 5 key code. And probably the last one is like the enter key or something. But I'm not. This didn't work very well.
I mean, it's possible they use 1, 2, 3, 4. Who knows?
5, because there's 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, there's 10 buttons here. It's
Hmm.
now am I only allowed to do that once on an object?
Once per 24-hour period.
Okay, so I can't do that again to try over.
What would it take to actually operate it?
Oh, the glass?
No, the keypad.
All it said that there's 5 buttons, and then started when I asked what sequence, it said the first one first and the second one second, and so on. And that is not useful.
Probably because it's been programmed by someone a little trickier than us.
I
Smoky
would like
kitty.
to do something. I would like to try to use Autumn Eyes on the lock. Because it says if I can use it on an object, then a fact is revealed with 3 or more successes.
Okay, which art
That's a
is
neat
that?
thing.
Autumn.
Oh, that would make sense.
Hang
Hang on a second.
Hmm?
Yeah, that would make sense. Okay, what are you doing bunk-wise? Or are you going to now invoking in the real world, because you people have only unleashed before in the dreaming, which only costs an extra glamour. Unleashing or invoking the word in the real world costs an extra glamour and gives you a nightmare point as well, and the wonderful effects of that. And if it goes wrong, it goes really interestingly wrong. So you can think up a bunk to do something that to trigger things. Autumn bunks, let's see, often involve the trappings of fall, funerals, harvests, and Halloweens. Crushing a handful of dead leaves, wearing a scary mask, dressing up as something you're not, extinguishing a lantern or candle, toggling a light switch rapidly, homemade homemade strobe, making eerie moaning noises, veiling your face, picking ripe fruit, etc., 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 burning your wallet with everything in it. Okay, let's get serious. Yeah, hang on.
I mean, we're in a
follow-up.
place where things get made.
And
Yes.
costumes might be nearby.
So
Maybe.
what are you going to do, Alette, in order to trigger your Autumn Eyes?
Okay, roll those by me again.
Let's see. In this room, you would be able to whip up probably a fast costume piece out of bits of cloth and such. Veiling your eyes, crushing a handful of leaves, flickering the lights, toggling the lights on and off rapidly.
Okay, I'll do that one.
Okay. So everybody else gets annoyed as Alette goes over and plays with the light switch, and it snap. And because this is an industrial space, those are not your normal light bulbs that go on and off quickly. So they kind of
no.
start up and die and start up and die, and you're getting all sorts of weird humming noises and stuff from up top. Now, Alette, if you'd be so kind as to roll your Autumn plus nature, which is 6 dice for me, and get 6s and above.
Or else.
Actually, industrial lights going up in a warehouse just by themselves, being alone in that warehouse, kind of gives off a creepy vibe.
But yeah.
Yep.
What was the difficulty again?
He said
6s and
6
up.
or better. Did you do really good?
Okay, so I have 3 10s, an 8, a 9, and a 7.
Well, damn.
Oh, wow.
Alette is now
Just-
my hero.
Okay.
Just ask all the
so
questions.
you focus your eyes and you scrutinize the hell out of this door and the electronic lock and everything. And so after playing with the lights for, a good minute or two, which was really irritating, Alette then stalks towards the door and seems to be intently peering at it. So you could tell that there are a couple of weak points in the door that if you guys were able to put together a battering ram, you could take the door down fairly quickly. There would be a lot of noise. And there'd then be a broken door to have to explain. You can tell as far as the keypad and the lock goes, the keypad has never been used. But there's a card tap for a card portion on it. So obviously whoever enters in and out of here uses the card and not the keypad. You can also tell that while this building has been around for quite a number of years, the door, not quite so long. The door is maybe a couple of years old, tops. But unfortunately, Autumn Eyes, while it gives you all sorts of information about the door and the keypad, doesn't give you the code or any way to open the door. Well, except for knocking it down.
Y'all want to knock it down?
I look like I could knock a door down.
I mean, not by yourself, but all together. Or who
unless
wants to
they're-
catapult a seal towards
Or do we
it?
want to just try and go around the building and get in from the other side to the
Oh
main entrance?
gosh.
Can't do that.
I feel really silly, but the catapulting me as a seal still sounds like a good idea.
If we were to try to knock the door down, what would the role be?
Well, you'd have to build something. Now there is a lot of stuff there. So, but you can
Is
build
there one
yourself
of
a
those like
battering
what
ram.
are those called that like you use it to like move skids of stuff?
There's
Ooh,
no entrance to building 10 from building 11. Just from because we're right now we're at we're at building
Right?
12.
It's like it's got these metal like forklift.
Yeah, forklift. There you go.
Oh my
Yep.
god.
Word association. It always works.
Wow.
Yep. Now there is
Yeah, I
a
forgot it too.
person-sized door from 12 into 10.
And because are we in 10 right now, or are we in 12 right now?
You're
or are
in
we
11. You're in 11.
There is one from 12 to 10. Does that one also have a keypad?
You go and look, and yes, it does.
Laura, does your
Lara's gonna
card
try
work on this?
Yeah, Lara's gonna try the keypad.
There's a little boop
With
and
the
another
clone
red
card?
light,
With the
Okay.
clone card?
and then the code card. There's nothing.
Did you try the clone card first, or did you try the?
I tried the normal card first.
We could just smash the keypad.
And then the doors. Anyways, Pen's just gonna start. Laura, can I borrow one of those cards?
How
Yeah.
do we know this room isn't
Lara
I'm
the
gonna
has
take
one
it,
like
card.
and Pen's gonna try and go around the building to the people-sized door on the outside of 10.
like what happens if we try
Okay.
to exit?
And which card did you borrow?
Which card did I borrow, Lara?
The real one.
The real one?
Okay.
Okay.
The real one. So you can exit just fine, and you go to the 10 has large double doors on the north and a people-sized door on the east wall.
All right, I'm gonna try to open the people-sized door with the card.
You get a boop and a red light.
He's locked himself in.
Yeah, we can crashy smash that door. Like we can make this happen.
Why don't we
And the
smash
bay
two
door
doors?
won't just come open. You got to open it from the other side.
It's another double door swing out. It has a keypad as well.
I'm gonna come back around. He's in there. He's just locked himself in.
So let's
Doesn't
blow the place up.
we gotta figure out a way to get in there.
Okay, so is there any freight moving vehicles inside this giant warehouse?
Nope.
Crowbars?
You can find hammers and pry bars, yes.
So
Among the
is there a random
carpentry
sledge
equipment.
somewhere?
Among the carpentry equipment, oh,
Let's see.
a couple of the smaller hand sledges, the little 5-pound ones, none of the big
Okay.
ones.
Can I try using verdant reclamation to see if I can grow some, like my intent is to have some roots starting to grow underneath those doors.
I just get the roots to just open the door from the other side.
Okay,
Something. well, no,
you-
like they're the double doors are this way. I'm talking about the ones that we had that were going up and down. Like I've been trying to look at my arts and see what might be able to move this. Like I have Howling Gale, but that's given that I'm not very, like I don't have very much in Skycraft, I might be very unsuccessful in that role. I'm thinking maybe Verdant Reclamation, like the doors that we had that would be able to move up, the ones from 10 to 12, or sorry, from 11 to 10.
Yep.
The ones that slide up, if I can get roots to, like my intent would be to get roots or
Oh yeah, because it
vines
would
to
like
start
latch.
growing underneath them so that it would push the doors up. And it doesn't, there doesn't need to actually be any plant life around. Like it can be pure cement and it'll still grow, provided that I'm successful. According to
That doesn't
the
work. I have an
rule.
idea.
Yeah, you're going to have to drop a lot of glamour into it because you're standing on a slab of foot-thick cement.
Okay. I mean,
And the plants have to come through that. You might be able to, however, you're also going to completely destroy the foundation and possibly knock the building offline.
okay. I was thinking maybe it would just be a matter of like getting them to actually go through the cement as opposed to go through. Yeah, okay, maybe.
Yeah, you could, but it's coming through a foot of cement. It's going to
If only you
destroy
had
a
brought
whole
one of
lot
those
of
plants that you
floor.
had from the other place.
But yeah, well, I guess I mean if they could grow and slide and move up, that could work. But yeah, the only other option I have is Howling Gale as far as mine goes, and I don't think that I can be successful given the fact that I don't have a lot in that dice pool. So, and this is probably going to be a pretty hard roll if I can even if I could do
You
it.
can always get those hammers, crowbars,
Yeah.
sledgehammers, and
Well,
hit the
well-
weak spots that Autumn saw.
Lee said she had an idea. What's Lee's idea?
There's a lot of stuff in here, right?
Yeah.
Random scaffold that might be big enough for the double doors. What if I turn that to the same-ish size of like a giant elephant or woolly mammoth? Metamorphosis.
Hang on a second. Let me.
It'll be
double
dumb.
check.
When is a door not a door? When it's a jar, and then just turn the door into a jar?
Oh,
Okay.
do you like the
Oh.
idea of running an elephant through it though?
You can indeed use sparrows and nightingales or worms and giants to shrink or enlarge something. Yes.
But
Oh,
one
but
question
the whole door will go though if we make it
One
small. It's like
question
an
I
Alice situation.
I had is does any of these doors like have glass in them?
Nope.
Oh, it's
Okay, so
solid
we
doors.
can't see anything. Nothing. It's just like okay.
Give me a sledge. I'm just gonna bash it open.
Yeah, I mean we could just, break one of these panels off or something.
Mr. Osgood, do you have anything that we could use for this? Because we're starting to run out of ideas.
We're getting desperate here.
I
I'm
mean,
willing to actually
you're
bust a
all
sweat.
BEG is
powerful,
always
right?
the door.
This is not the Trod door.
You're looking for Mr. Green.
Might be in there.
The portion of the
He
contract
might
is
be in there. He might not be in there. We're staring at a
Uh,
locked door that we can't get in because no one has a key card.
Yeah,
all
but
the
all
doors
of them. We just
lock.
Penn just went around and checked the front ones, and they are all this way.
Also, every time
That
I
doesn't
try
mean
it,
he's
the
in there. It
camera-
just means he's locked the doors. Do we have a way of finding out whether or not someone is nearby?
I'll go outside and take a look to see if anyone's out there.
I mean, you sensed the glamour coming from that direction. Stands to reason that the glamour sink is over that direction.
There was sensing the southern doors in 12 gave off glamour, and something in building 10 gave off glamour.
That's why I'm thinking building 10 is where our friend is.
Possibly, or whatever he's using to siphon the glamour.
Well, don't you want to know what's being used to siphon the glamour?
Absolutely.
Well,
I also
then we
want to
gotta
get
get in-
the trod doors open. You're here to get the glamour guy,
Well, how about
which
this?
I'm willing to help with.
well, then help.
Okay, so if we're just, is there anything Lily would be able to do to kind of try and sense for Dr. Green?
Penn's just gonna try this the old-fashioned way, like pull the thing off and then try. Can I try to hot wire the door using good old-fashioned like
Technology.
Not-
Larceny?
technology and larceny and not any glamour? Unless this is actually magic.
Oh. Let's see.
I know it's gonna be a
Well-
long shot.
My vampire character would have taken care of this 10 minutes ago, and
Sounds-
this is so sad.
Sounds very banal. Messing with tech.
Okay, well, first of all, you're going to have to open it up, and that is going to take some kind of a tool.
I'm just
There's-
gonna
we
grab one
found
of.
several.
I'm gonna grab like one of the screwdrivers from off one of the walls and just like pry it
Okay.
open.
And just pry it open. Okay, give me a strength plus something physical. Yeah, you don't really have anything in brawl or athletics.
No,
I do.
like I said, I got larceny though. I'm like, someone want to get this panel off?
I
so-
will.
All right.
Okay, I'm going to need a strength plus brawl with a difficulty of it's fairly well built, 8s and up.
Strength and brawl on your gown. Sorry, 8s and up.
Yes, please.
One, two, three, 4 successes.
There's a loud crack, and the front cover, large parts of it come off in a couple of pieces.
Enough for me to access the internals.
Oh yeah, the internals are kind of hanging out now.
Oh, good.
The
All right.
the
And
the
possibly
the,
go wrong.
the keypad is broken, and the buttons are kind of half hanging on wires.
We still got two. We still have 3 doors to. Okay. And Penn is going
Okay,
to try.
and as it gets pulled off the wall,
Oh shit.
you hear a
Yeah.
ringing coming from somewhere, a bell.
Security
Oh
alarm.
no. Oh no.
Well,
Let's run.
backslash.
Run.
Actually, would I be able to use chicanery to make that alarm like instantly cut off?
Let
Where
me
was that?
check. Do.
Chicanery is all about
Chicanery.
perceptions. Messing with perceptions.
Yes, but you need to be able to see the people whose perceptions you're messing with.
Even when they get here.
Does kind of need to be local, And the
Mm.
bells you are hearing are not necessarily local. You could hear what sounds like a bell going off in building 10, but there are bells going off other places.
Okay, I'm gonna try and work fast then.
I'm gonna keep a lookout.
Okay, so
Lily is at a loss.
chicanery. Trick of the light muddles perceptions. Veiled eyes is basically vampiric obfuscate. Okay, what does dream logic do?
That's kind of what I was looking at. That's another thing that also messes with people's perceptions. It makes them it's kind of like the vampire manipulate ish
Kind of, yeah, it confuses and manipulates.
Yeah.
Okay, target's minds become shrouded by glamour and mists. Okay, so so chicanery, first of all, I'm going to have to actually go with no, because you don't know the targets. I
Okay.
can't tell you whether they're going to be actor or fae. Prop you have none of, so you cannot actually. And
Weren't we
you can't
doing actor and
affect-
fae as one stat?
kind of is one stat, but again,
the
you're
same for
about
me anyways.
mid range. To affect complete strangers, you'd need a little more or a
Okay.
lot more.
Well, what I need to do right now is just get this door open. So I'd like to try and hotwire the electronics so that the door pops open.
Okay, you're going to need to re-roll me technology plus intelligence 10s only, and you're going to need 4 successes.
Larceny wouldn't work with this instead of technology.
Nope.
Okay, I don't have
You're
technology.
you're dealing with computers, not with normal locks.
It's a no. It's a no from me. Someone else has to bust this door down, or we just have to go out into the trod and hope.
Okay, there is the sound of footsteps, and a lot of them from outside the doors to 11, getting close.
We need to
You
get out of
have
here.
Get to the
10
trod.
seconds.
Out,
Nine.
out, out.
Any
Let's
way
go.
I can just rip
Fine.
the
Shroud them
off.
all.
7.
Run.
Um,
We need to get to the
6.
We're
trod.
gonna.
We need to get to
Wait
the
a minute.
trod.
Wait.
Can I
What did
shroud them
Donovan
all?
say?
What was that, Donovan?
Can I shroud them all?
Oh,
Or turn on, do something with sovereign to convince the crowd, as it were.
give me a half a second. I got a feeling it's no, but I'm going to take a quick look. Yeah. That's not what I want. I want sovereign. HIJKLMNO. There we go. Sovereign.
We're Donna. 4 of
Okay.
us, and
You're right there. So protocol is not going to help you a whole lot, unfortunately. Granger is only going to draw their attention to you. Ooh, guest list could block a door for a bit, but you're basically locking yourselves in.
We're inside 10.
You're inside 11.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay. Can we get from 11 to 12?
Oh yeah. Yep, that door's open. That's where you came from.
okay.
Okay.
Go in, close the bay door, and then.
Can they get
Lock
out
it.
of 12 is the point.
Yeah, do we have enough time to
Oh, yeah.
exit, or do we? Okay.
Then I'll do that. Is that
Okay,
going to cost
so
me?
guest list. You're going to have to be unleashing this because you don't have time to do a bunk,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Actually, you do. You could yell commands like a drill sergeant at the doors.
At the doors.
At the doors.
All right, listen,
are
you,
both-
and listen good. You're going to do exactly what I say when I say it. And listen, mister, if you piss me off again, so help me, you've already failed us. You're not going to fail us again.
And give me prop plus sovereign. So 7 dice, 6s and above.
Four.
I feel myself crushing just at those orders myself.
Yeah.
And there's no funny business with 10s.
Nope.
Okay, so I got 1, 2, 3, 4. What is that? It's a 6, 5.
5. Okay. You can feel that the double doors in the north and the person-sized door in 11 they're shut, and you can already hear people banging on them.
Cool.
Fortunately for you, the door into 12 did not slam shut.
Oh, good.
Cool.
That's fun.
Okay.
Everybody out.
So
I gave you a 50% chance that door was listening too, and apparently it was ignoring you.
Shit.
cool.
Thank you.
Just.
Give it a pat on the way by. Let's go, people.
Okay.
I was money.
Following.
I missed something.
All right.
Here
Time
we
to
go.
soup.
Get
Time is
out.
life. Time is life. Let's go. Let's go. Go.
Going.
Going.
Yeah, we're going.
And so you're in 12. What are you doing from 12?
So 12 is the one that has the exit to the trod.
Well, there's those big kind of glamour feeling doors at the south end.
Well, it's
Or-
unlikely people will be able to follow us there.
Something about this. I don't remember. No, carry on. Go. Do your thing.
So do we
No,
want to exit
no,
into
there's
the
something.
do we want to exit into the trot, or do we want to exit into the street?
Well, won't they double security after we leave here?
Yeah,
we leave
probably.
here? So it's going to be harder to get in.
Mm,
Do we want to just hide out in town for a little bit and then come back?
What's the harm in that?
Gotta make a make a
Well,
decision.
yeah. It's
Town.
just time and trods is different, right? So we could step in, spend a bunch of time, and come back, and we'd still have the same problem.
No, I mean, if we try and come back here, say tomorrow, to try this out, to try and see, if we can get to the trod.
Yeah, no, I just meant the people out there right now.
Yeah.
I am hearing what you were saying, but I'm
Yeah, you're right.
There's more than
Are-
one
are you-
door into the trod. Let's.
right. Are you okay?
Osgood, I'm having a hard time understanding.
You're muted.
You're muted.
You're
You're muted,
muted.
Mike.
Mike, you're muted.
All right. All right.
You're doing
That was some
great,
excellent looking
There's some
acting.
great
these great
acting.
expressions.
A plus
Right.
facial work.
No, it's a thing. I remembered now. It's a fuzzy memory. I can barely. The door can't open now. It can only
Okay.
open on the new moon.
What? You could have told us
All
that
right,
before.
then we're gonna.
You didn't
God
ask,
damn it.
and you guys
I'm
went and
sorry,
fucked
is
around
that-
on the friggin' tech. So
Is that-
yeah, get
Okay.
out the
so,
front door.
So out
just
the street then.
right.
We're gonna
Leave.
exit. We're gonna try and leave out the back door and hope
the
nobody
side
catches us
door?
on the way out.
Okay. As you are exiting at the side door, you can hear people around the north end of the building.
And are they coming
And you
towards
think
this side?
you think you've got a matter of moments before they come wrapping around this side to see what's going on.
We're gonna grab the segways and we're gonna zoom out of there.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Segue assume. Okay.
Actually, would
Okay.
Segways don't
and-
zoom, guys.
They zoom faster
Lara-
than-
would segways be faster than us running or
That's
not?
another question.
No.
No, they wouldn't.
Okay,
They have
then
a
we're
little
gonna just
startup.
abandon the segways
Let's
and
just-
run.
Let's just run. Run.
Well, I mean, segues aren't that slow, but yes, let's run. Lara's gonna
Okay.
make a phone call to the 11 or the Studio 11 while this is all happening, or sorry, while we're leaving, and she's just gonna say, "Hi, I need to talk to security because you see, my key card got stolen like about 15 to 20 minutes ago. I need to get a new one.
And you get Susan, and she goes, wow, that's horrible.
Yeah.
That's okay. They get lost all the time. Just drop by the office. We'll give you another one.
Okay, cool. And then she turns around to the rest of the Motley, because they already, like, if they're logging key passes, they know I'm here, and I don't want them to know I'm here.
Well, at least one guy's gonna know you're here. Somebody's been with this stuff. And if this the tech has any kind of electronic trace, it'll know exactly what key card was used.
Yeah, that's why I want it to seem like my card got stolen.
I'm really gonna pay her back for this. So
Okay, everyone, give me a
What have we
Dex
learned?
plus Stealth, please.
ooh,
6 and above, and all you need is 1.
Okay, I'm actually pretty good at that. So let's do this.
Oh, okay. That's a surprise.
I feel like I should ask if my cat's, like, reflexes apply.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got 2.
2.
On 6 dice, 1 success.
what are the successes?
On 6
it's
dice, I have
six-
1 success.
6 and above.
Okay.
I got 2, and one of which is a 10.
Wow, I'm in the same boat as Penn. 6 dice, 1 success.
Okay, you're all not running, walking quickly away back towards Pinewood. And as you walk past the south end of Studio 8, 4 big burly security guards come tearing around the corner. And one of them kind of gives you a bit of a look, but notices Donovan, nods, and the 4 of them keep running towards Building 11. So those dice wanted you guys to get caught. 1 success? Ow.
Eep.
So what have we learned?
Those are
it.
hard.
That
Smash,
your
don't ask
your
questions.
skill set is certainly not theft.
Well, my skill set is theft, but not electronics theft. I'm good at like picking locks. I'm not good at like hot wiring things, if that makes sense.
Can Lara check her pockets, storyteller?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Give me a willpower roll, 6 and above, please.
Oh. Oops.
So what we need is a better plan of attack. If he doesn't want to be caught or encountered, he won't.
4. Oh, nice. You were actually able to stop yourself from picking up any of the tools. You've got 3 nails and a small brass screw, but you don't have any of the tools.
Small grasser. Because
Brass screw.
Okay.
Green doesn't want to get caught. So he's going to lock himself in when he can, when he can't, but he can't stay in there forever.
Stakeout?
Maybe. I've been watching though, and he's got really erratic
Patterns.
behavior. I can't. There's no real great predictability.
Got to come out to eat sometime.
Unless there's a bathroom in there, he's got to go out to use, do his business too.
Delivery
Well, maybe
What if I
then.
lure-
Actually, I've got a plan for you guys. Then.
plan.
And here it is. We want Green. We want Green out of there.
Mhm.
Green's got to eat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have at least some of you, if you can, while you're working here, keep an eye out, see what food goes in and out, and or whether or not dude matching Green's subscription comes in or out. Do not engage, because if he's this hard to get a hold of, somebody alone isn't going to take him down. We want to get rid of him. So if we can find out the kind of food he eats, we can get it in somehow. We can then have it delivered ourselves. We can find a way, we can figure out how the mechanism is of him coming in, coming out.
I mean, if Laura can get close enough
Accessibility.
to him.
I can try to get close to him, But it's interesting what you say, Mr. Donovan, about eating, because Fae eats something different. Fae have, they tell me, at least my Motley tells me, we have glamour. What if we create a big, huge pool of glamour that would draw Mr. Green, like bait?
I have a perfect idea for that.
Hmm.
In 2 weeks is a new moon.
Okay.
I want
Yeah.
that door open. It's going to take a bit of a push.
Mhm.
We can kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Draw them out using
So-
the trod door.
The glamour and the trod.
And then
Okay.
renovate the countryside. I don't know. What are we talking about here? This is random.
Well, trods are full of glamour. You can find dross everywhere.
I thought she said trogdor. I don't know why.
Hmm.
No.
I said trod door, as in the door that leads to the trod.
No, we're not gonna burninate the countryside.
No, no
All right.
burning.
We're
Peasants
not
are
going to do
people.
that. We're going to draw them out with that and then catch them and
Yes,
I got it.
exactly.
Okay.
All
We
right.
have a
Well,
plan.
we have time to prepare for that.
Excellent.
Right. So, what?
So
Where are
wouldn't
we
mind surveilling the
getting?
guy because I really just don't like him.
Okay, but where are we getting the glamour to open the door in the first place? Are you providing it? Because what?
It's
What?
gotta
What's?
it's gotta get glamour put into it on the new moon, I would assume.
That's when I think it's at its full potential for it to be opened. I
Okay.
assume.
You know what? Why don't we figure this out tomorrow? It's been a long day.
Mm,
Yeah.
And right now, I need to go pick up a new security key card because this one, Lara pulls out, and this one are now stolen property. So,
I'll take them.
there you go.
They're still in Lara's pocket.
Only if you need them.
They will be.
Eventually.
Everything gets there. All right.
Okay.
Mm.
And everybody disperses for the evening, heads home, does what have you. And that is where we will wrap the game tonight with a Motley that is frustrated over the fact that there was a door
Mhm.
they could not open at this time.
There was
couldn't open
3
any
doors
of
we
them.
couldn't
There was
open.
3.
3.
I need to put more unopenable doors in your way. It's fun watching you guys.
Trip over themselves to, yeah.
Gonna
I-
open.
Literally,
I-
giant woolly mammoth would have solved all our problems.
I now know how to lead you to the important stuff. Put it behind a door that's takes
You
some
can't
effort
open.
to get past. Yeah,
Yep.
if you can't open it the first time, that is where the good shit is hidden.
Gonna get
Well,
real
thank you
fun.
very much, viewers, for coming along in this wonderful day at the studios and finding out what happens when our Motley go and do a little bit of exploring and just how fantastic they are becoming one of the first Segway mobs on the studio property this week, because I have no doubt that has happened before. So we'll go back around the circle of people and let our viewers know who you are and where they can find you on the interwebs. And I believe going backwards, we ended with, who did we end with?
Mike.
Me.
Yeah, no, before Mike. He's a special guest. He'll go last
Yeah.
again.
I'll
Isn't
go
it
last.
Kitty?
It was Kitty. Yes, Alette. Be so kind as to tell folk where they can find you.
Everybody, my name is Kitty Kimchi and I played Alette, your zookeeping puka, and you can find me on Twitter at she's Blasian.
Thank you very much. And after Kitty, we have Joanna.
Hello, my name is Joanna. You will find me on Twitter at HighRoadGardener, and you will also find me on various parts of VBN, including our Patreon and our Saturday Takeover. So please definitely come in if you have an opportunity and check out our Delve Coterie.
Thank you very much, Joanna. After Joanna, we have Crystal.
Crystal. I played Lily Winters, your friendly neighborhood Corid, who was very, very frustrated by locked doors.
Thank you, Crystal. Okay, and Rose, please.
Hey everyone, Rose playing Lee the Selkie, and I've got quite a few announcements coming up. First of all, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Rose_Bulbasaur, and then also on TikTok at Rose Bulbasaur. My link tree is in the chat. You should be able to find that there. Now for the announcements that I have, I'm going to be in a Cult of the Blood Gods Vampire the Masquerade 5e edition of the game, where I get to play in a Bahari. And if you're interested or curious about what that is, you can watch that on Tuesdays starting November 2nd on Onyx Path. I'll also be in a couple of one-shot games with Motley Games, which is my permanent home. Again, keep an eye on my socials, keep an eye on Martlet, and also keep an eye on Onyx Path for all the updates on upcoming programs.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. And now Anita, please.
Hello, I'm Anita. I was playing Pen Devlin this evening. You can find me everywhere at Panita or at Critical Misses. I'm a TTRPG streamer, a producer, a graphic designer, and a cat mom about space. You can find me over on the Critical Misses channel, which is the channel that I founded and run. Morning Ritual, our 50th guest is coming up, and it's going to be Cypher of Tyr. By the time this airs. So we're going to go talk with Cypher on Saturday the 30th. So come check that out. We're very excited. Yeah. That is, as for other channel things, we're working on getting our next season sorted. Stay tuned for announcements. That's me.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. And our special guest for tonight, Mike.
Let's make sure my mic's on this side. Hi, I'm Mike. I played the ever increasingly exacerbated Donovan Osgood. Their employer wants to make sure that everybody remembers that now. You can you can catch my pre and post COVID cosplay adventures at Canadian Captain America on Instagram and TikTok, and CDN Cap America on Twitter. You can catch me on Saturdays and part of the Vampire Takeover with the Delves crew, Mr. Storyteller Cliff and Abigail / Joanna as part of our now gelling coterie for the first time in like a season and a half. So that's cool. You can catch me on Sundays playing in the Phandalin by Night game at 2 p.m. PST with a great group of people, 5th edition D&D in the Forgotten Realms. You can catch me as my own dungeon master of my own Greyhawk world called Would Be Heroes at Tuesdays at 6 p.m. PST, here on Wednesdays. And that's it for now, but more to come.
Always. And I'm Cliff, your storyteller for this Changeling 20th Anniversary Chronicle. You can find me on Saturdays as part of the Delve crew as well, being a completely different person from what I am here. Yes, not near as manipulative of other people. You can also find me here and there and a few other places. Rumor has it I may be appearing over on Dark Druid Studios to play a Malkavian Primogen for Prince William by Night, which looks like an amazing. I've been following their game, and they are just a fantastic group of people. Don't forget, Vancouver by Night has a Patreon, and for $1, you can get some amazing content, all sorts of behind-the-scenes stuff, interactions between characters who are talking about stuff kind of off-camera over here. You can get in on all sorts of little fun that's been going on. And then there's the YouTube, where you can find this and other past episodes and episodes as we go along. Don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe, hit the bell so that you get notifications. All sorts of fantastic stuff coming up. Tune in next Wednesday. We will be having our holiday special with another special guest. While Mr. Donovan Osgood takes a bit of a break and goes and lies down, puts an ice pack on his head for the headache. And once he's got that taken care of and has popped a couple of aspirin, we'll bring him back to wrangle this coterie of cats and see where it goes from here. So thanks very much for tuning in. Without you, this would be only a little fun. With you, I love your comments all the time in the chat. You people are just hilarious. Cut down the dad jokes, though. I'm kind of, getting up there. So thank you very much. Stay wonderful, stay lovely, and we'll see you all soon.